Okay, I gotta change my chat box over from UNIRock chat box to UNIRock 2 chat box. Got it. Gotta find Joe from the Carolinas. Okay, Joe. I know I just made Joe wait. I'm a bad host. I'm a bad host. Hey, Ava. Hey, go in there and watch stuff with Maddie, okay? When I get done, we'll go do something, okay? Maddie's in there. Go say hi. All right. Here we go. Now. What, huh? What, babe? Okay, put them up for me. Okay, yeah, cool. Put them in the fridge. Cool. Strawberries. I loves me some strawberries. Hey, guys. Hey, guys. All right. Here's the deal. Pause the music, busy. Wrong song, busy. There you go. Okay, guys, here's the deal. So Joe from the Carolinas was in my Discord. I had to go live on UNIRock really fast. I'm going to see if Joe, if you're out there, here's how it works. I need you to join one of the chat rooms, and I will right-click your name and hit move to the stream room. And as soon as I pull you into the stream room, you will be live with me, and we'll just talk about recent events and show people your channel and all that good stuff. We're going to talk about TUCSON tonight. We're going to talk about new information around that character that everybody's been talking about. Okay, Joe seems to be good. Let me see if Joe's in a room. Okay, so look. Okay, let me tell Joe. @Joe. Whenever you're ready, click on general or gaming and I'll pull you into talk. Okay, so Joe will be clicking there soon. Joe, after you click on one of those rooms, I'm gonna talk for about a minute. That'll give you time to be ready to go, and then I'll pull you in. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you guys some stuff that is being sent to me. Now, I can't tell you that this is all information that was pulled by searching for the phone number of the guy from Veterans on Patrol, the Veteran on Patrol phone number, searching it, and then his name by the Anons on 4chan, and they are all releasing, this is from what I was told, all those Anons are now releasing his criminal background. Now, whether or not I show you the criminal background, I don't know, but let me show you at least how much of it there is, and then we'll have to go through it and see if, read it and make sure it's him. So we don't want to tell ourselves it is him, but I'm telling you that this is released on the chans as reported to me as being his criminal background. You just saw all of it fly by. That's a big criminal background. Now, I don't know if it's going to really, affect anyone's decision making. All I know is this guy, I just, when I was playing live on UNIRock, my main channel, just a few minutes ago, I played a clip of this guy talking and literally had to pause it as fast as I could because he was screaming, dead kids, as loud as he could. Whether or not this guy is doing something good or not, in the long run, he's definitely not in the short run. And I'm still going to stand behind my suggestion that a veteran, not him being a non-veteran, but a veteran stand up and take over Veterans on Patrol if it's going to be an organization that takes in money, uses the name veteran to get that money, and does what it does. Just my opinion. So we're going to look at that later. I've got people fact-checking that information that was dropped to me right now, and we'll know the results later is all I can say. At least we'll know alleged preliminary results. I'm still deciding whether or not it really is a big deal or not. I'm going to ask you whether it's a big deal or not. That's what we'll do. Okay, so I need to refresh this and make sure that I'm streaming and everything's okay. Because switching channels it's the first time I've had to deal with switching YouTube channels in a while, and there is a little bit of work to do. Looks like we're good to go, I think. Yeah, you guys will probably never get my notifications unless you're following me on Twitter and on Twitch. You'll get those notifications, and you can head on into UNIRock 2, Uni's live. Follow me there. All right, I'm gonna see if Joe's ready, and I'm gonna click and bring Joe in to do an interview with Joe from the Carolinas. There he is. Okay. Hold on now. I gotta promote Joe. He's gonna be a UNIRocker and a Rock-a Squad member. And he seems like a cool, trustable guy, so I'll let him be a Rocka mod also. Get his name up there on the Rocka mods. And let's pull him up. Let's make sure it's him. Is it going to be a troll that cusses me out, or is it going to be Joe? I don't know. Let's see. Joe, can you hear me? Okay, let me make sure he's not... Okay, you're not muted or deafened on my... Nope. Hey, there you are. Hey, can you hear me okay, buddy?
Checking 1, 2.
There we go. Now I got you. Welcome, welcome. Hey, if you can hear me okay and it's going to let you talk, we can do it through Discord. If it doesn't, we can try something else. So, because I got Skype and stuff too if it doesn't work. Can you hear me okay, though? I've had this happen before. Sometimes Discord on certain devices will have a really big delay.
So I can, but I'm not hearing you through Discord at all. I'm just hearing you through YouTube.
Okay. Okay, so let's do this. Let me give you a link to click. It'll be a Google Hangout. Let me get that ready real fast. It'll make it a lot easier. So let's do this, and let me grab the link. Okay, Joe, I'm gonna private message you a link right now if you want to just click that for me, and it'll bring you into where we can talk and you'll be able to hear me okay. Make sure you don't share that link for me, and it's it should be in your private messages. You can right click my name and hit send me a message, and it'll show you our private messages. Discord does this kind of often, actually. Okay, well, shit. It's not letting me send you that message. Hold on. Let me do it like this. Okay.
Cool. All right.
Let me do this. Joe. Click link. There's a link in Backyard Brawl Room. If you want to click that for me real quick, it'll pop you in.
Okay.
Stand by, everybody. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
All right.
Can you hear me better now, bro?
I can. Can you hear me?
Perfect. And I have video. Let me pull your video up on my screen and we'll get it talking. Okay. So we got Joe from the Carolinas with us. Joe, I stumbled on your YouTube channel when I don't know what I was searching out, but ever since I found it, I've loved every video you've uploaded. So if you don't mind, give us an introduction. Let us know how you got started on YouTube, and tell the people what you do so they'll want to come sub to you.
Okay, cool. So my name's Joe from the Carolinas. I'm kind of from the Carolinas, and what I do is I like to look at different things in life, the abnormal, the paranormal, and the normal, with reason, logic, and common sense, and a big heap of sarcasm on top of that most of the time. And so I've been on YouTube doing organic farming and sustainable stuff since 2013, and spending time out in the fields and thinking a lot and reading a lot. I started posting videos on conspiracy theory topics and all kind of stuff probably about 8, 9, 10 months ago, and since then it's just been rolling, just been picking up and picking up and picking up. I'm like, all right, well, people want to hear more about conspiracy than gardening. Well, we can do that. So
yeah, everybody loves talking about mysteries and the unknown, and I love your take on it. I a long time ago, a year and a half or so, I said the same thing to myself. I was like, you know, not enough channels tackle those topics, and trying to do it from a logical standpoint also. And I think that's what caught my eye the most when I heard you talk about Jordan Sather or Corey Good and those guys, secret space program stuff. I have pretty much the same, let's say, opinions that you do on those topics. Fill everybody in though. What have you kind of learned and you know, covered yourself when it comes to Corey Good and Wilcock and Sathers and there's the Secret Space program and that stuff?
Well, if you type into YouTube, Corey Good critic, Secret Space program critic, Jordan Sather critic, I'll probably come up in like the top 10 because I just put out like so many videos. But here's the, I guess my rub with this whole thing. You have a major alternative marketing campaign that's alternative news that is basically constructing this narrative that is playing on the belief systems of a very large number of people. And there is no evidentiary support at all that anyone provides. And yet we're told, trust me, I'm being told by all these extraterrestrial, this is Corey Good talking now. Corey Good says, trust me, I'm being told by all these extraterrestrial species that I am the one who's going to give UFO and alien disclosure to the world, that I am appointed. I'm being told I am the ambassador. I'm representing you. And to me, you know, and Jordan Sather has been with him this entire time. To me, it's like, hey, dude, let's show us some evidence. I mean, we usually have a broken process of voting or election, or as I say, selection. You know, it's like, isn't there a national security risk with this guy representing us to 321 alien species? Come on,
man. I say the same thing, dude, when I see their stuff, you know. Yeah, because, you know, if it is true what they say is true, we would have video and pictures and audio and just any type of corroborative evidence, especially after the time that they've been saying it for a long time. You know what's strange? So the Wilcock comes up in another investigation that I did, other than, because I covered UFOs at first for a while, and then started doing other stuff, and I looked into this scam that involved you know, people being like indictments happening, a big awakening, and all these things back in 2011 and 2012, and it fizzled out. And it's really like they kind of ride a wave that they'll kind of go lower for a while, then they'll pop up everywhere again. I feel bad. I want to know. Tell me. I feel bad sometimes because I have to be critical of people often in doing what I do. I want to know how you wrestle with, because typically I don't really. I mean, I want to be nice to everybody, but then again, I have to call these people out. How do you deal with that concept?
Well, it's a good thing. It's something I wrestle with too. But what I try to do is I try to just take their words and what their story and approach is, whether it's Wilcock, whether it's Corey Good, or even Jordan Sather. And I just take what they're saying and I take the general theme. So I'm more of a pattern analyst, and I look at what they said at this point in time versus what they said at this point in time. It's like, if it doesn't make any rational sense, I'm not really attacking the person. I'm just drawing attention to, look, this doesn't make sense even within their own narrative. How could you believe it? How could I believe it? And more importantly, how could they believe it? And with David Wilcock, as you mentioned, one of his patterns that he always does, and he learned this through his script writing training that he talks about in his book, The Synchronicity Key, is he plays the victim, he runs away for a little while, and then plays catch up on about 3 months worth of news and builds that into this narrative, and then says, oh, we're on the run and we need your support. We're not going to back down. And by the way, we've got these events coming up and they cost a lot of money to get into. Yeah. You know, so I just focus on what their words are. And the fact is that their stories, even if the details change, the patterns are exactly the same over time. It's always a carrot at the end of the stick. So I also focus on, I guess, your behavioral results. And so I try to keep it away from the people. The funny thing is, and you probably have noticed this too, in terms of like the vanity numbers of YouTube, the view counts and all that. It's the videos where I come out and get a little rowdy. Those are the ones that get the hits, the ones that are very logical. It's like, nobody cares about logic, you know. It's so it's kind of an interesting puzzle.
Yeah, YouTube's not as it seems, man. That's the #1 rule. I got a YouTuber that I worked with a lot named Dr. Lupo. He's got a great channel. He always told me that YouTube is never the way you think it is. Even when you think you've learned something about it, it will turn around. And I think that's part of the attraction with making videos and trying to, you know, do it the best you can, you know, in my opinion. But what you just said, though, about them, I've seen that too. And I think that's why I was like, you know what, Joe's onto something. He's really paying attention to this. He's really got a full understanding of this situation, because we do see that, you know, brief time period, and then when they come back, it seems like they're catching up. And what it does seem like too is that they start, every time they come back, if a new trend pops up, they've become the newest expert of the newest big trend every time they come in. So, you know, definitely noticed that you were on point with that information also.
Absolutely. And the thing is that it's, once you learn the patterns, it's almost easy. I'm not going to say I can predict what they're going to say, but it's like, I don't have to tune in to any of these, including Jordan Sather. You don't have to listen to every single minute of every single broadcast to predict, okay, well, this is basically where they're going to go. And that runs into the whole QAnon thing too. Because as you know, David Wilcock came out just about around the time that you were exposing what was going on with QAnon. And he's like, oh, yeah, QAnon, you know, he's like with our alliance, and we have insiders that say that he's this and this and that. I'm like, dude, like, come out of the woods, because you just missed some big stuff, you know?
Yeah, definitely. And I was kind of shocked to see Wilcock hit it. But then, you know, we always do, you know, when Sather picks something up, and that, you know, that Good or Wilcock eventually are going to bump into that once one of them is successful as something, the others also jump to it. But I can't really criticize them for little things like that, because that's like something all of us do as YouTubers. One thing I do criticize them for, though, is the biggest problem I have with YouTube, and the biggest problem I've had for a long time, it's the claims. Where I live at, and you're on the East Coast also. I'm a little north from you. I'm in Ohio, but I've been to North Carolina many times. My brother was in Fort Bragg.
Oh, sure.
And yeah, so I went down and visited him all the time for the whole time he was in the service. Well, anyway, when in real life, you know, somebody walks up to you, or if one of your friends has this giant claim, like, you know, hey, in the backyard I got a dinosaur. You look at them like, bro, come on now. Yeah, show me the dinosaur. Let's go, because it's not there. But on the internet, we see the exact opposite. You go to the comments, and it's like, oh my God, I want to pet your dinosaur. Hey, no, I want to see it too. I'm glad you got a dinosaur. Yay. So fighting those big claims has been one thing I've tried to do the whole time. Do you think that you know, we'll see a little bit more evidence start coming out, or maybe we'll see an audience that wants more evidence eventually, or do you think we're destined to constantly have to, you know, do what we do?
I mean, I think that in any of these matters, as far as like the truth or the paranormal or whatever, even UFOs, aliens, it's like there's always going to be the push and desire for more confirmable evidence. And then the other side is going to be more like, well, you need to understand why there can't be that evidence. So you need to change what your metric or your measure of good evidence is. And so there's going to be this push-pull. I think that there will continue to be evidence presented, but it's not going to be sufficient. And here's why. The UFO paranormal community has been running off of fumes. Now that the internet age is streaming you and me and all kind of good stuff, they can't run off the stories anymore. Technology is catching up, so their mouths are writing checks that they have no evidence to cash. Mm-hmm. And so people will lose interest much quicker. And so the demand for evidence. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to see much more kind of savvy hoaxes coming out. We're about due for an up close alien hoax once more, or even a UFO crash photograph menagerie or what have you. I mean, I think we're up to that point. They're going to need to do something. And do you remember that Nazca mummy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that ridiculous desecrated human remains thing. that's what I'm talking about. That it's going to be, the bar's going to be set higher. And especially because some of these big YouTubers are coming out now and they're realizing that they are losing, the big companies are losing control over the narratives. So you're going to have more people hoaxing. And then if something real happens, we're all going to be like, oh, it's just another hoax, you know? And so I think it's a very complicated question. And what I've been trying to do is I've been doing my own Freedom of Information Act requests on all of the foundational assumptions of all of these individual stories in the paranormal. So I'm looking into Operation Bluebeam. I'm looking into the whole Nimitz incident from 2004, where supposedly the USS Nimitz encountered a UFO, and they just recently put all those images on the air on the mainstream media. So I'm doing Freedom of Information Act requests on all of this stuff because I don't trust any of these big companies, corporations, or even the mainstream media to tell us halfway near where the truth is.
I'm glad, man. I'm glad. These things, just like what you described, is exactly what we need. You know, we need a lot more YouTubers doing what you're doing, and you know, putting pretty much, you know, the foundation that, you know, no one's claim is going to be taken anymore now that we've been ruled by liars and people that make things up for this long. You know, now it's got to be evidence or we're just not going to listen to you. I notice it's getting, the audience is getting bigger. There's a lot more people that finally are saying, you know, I'm with people that want evidence. I'm not with people that make the claims, you know, and I'm just happy that things are going this way because you got to imagine, I think that and in my opinion, YouTube kind of fought back because of the amount of misinformation and claims. It overtook YouTube a lot, and I think there'll be a lot less censorship and a lot less bad things happening to creators if we get an evidence-based YouTube. Sure. Okay. I want to ask you about this new thing that's going on. You've probably been paying attention to TUCSON. You know I'm very charged on a lot of it, but don't worry. If you think something, you know, that's completely different than what I think, I will not, you know, hang you for it. I'm completely open. Cool. But what do you think's been going on with TUCSON as much as you've paid attention?
So I definitely don't have my finger on the pulse of it as much as you do. I spent a lot of time outside in the fields and everything, but I'll tell you, to me, it just smells of a sort of pseudo-viral, fake viral marketing campaign for the alternative community. So we shift our focus to distract us away from the failings of QAnon, from the failings of other things that have recently been happening, specifically the evidence that we're required now with the whole QAnon ridiculousness. Where are the indictments? Oh, no, don't worry about the indictments. Here's a camp. We've got a camp over here.
I feel you, man. I feel you.
And so, and I'm okay as far as my own critical thinking skills. Like, I hope I'm wrong, and I want to see evidence that I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a problem being wrong, you know? And so, I think another thing that's kind of suspicious about that is, just from an investigative standpoint, I've looked into the David Paulides missing 411, as well as the William Ramsey series, sort of strange disappearances, strange drownings, and any forensic investigation, anybody worth its salt as an investigator is going to say, okay, we've got a human remain here. Everybody get out of here right now. Like, let's get out of here. Let's look at the access points, get away, because we're shedding DNA millions of times with every step. And I was looking at that video you were showing earlier, and the guy who's supposedly has this military training is wearing these kind of like untied brown boots and is literally like kicking this, what appears to be a skull. And I'm like, okay, that was a really stupid move. I hope for his sake that is a fake skull.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
I mean, I like hearing from people, you know, that you know, because it makes me lose faith in humanity a little bit when I see all these people standing around it and treating what? Yes. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a break. My son just showed up, but Okay,
No worries.
I'm gonna transition to just a short, like 30-second. Are you still good to talk for a little bit longer? You got to go
Yeah.
or anything? Okay.
I'm good.
Okay, guys, we're gonna transition to the front screen for just a second, and I'm gonna play a song for everybody while I go down and make sure my son's got everything he needs, and we'll only be gone for 30. Make sure you're talking. If you have any questions, start generating them, because I'm gonna let you ask questions in just a little bit. Get your guys' opinion on things, and we'll be right back with Joe from the Carolinas. Mods, please make sure you're dropping Joe's link, and that way he can get some subs pushed over that way. And here we go. So give me about 30 seconds to 1 minute, and we'll be right back in. Alright guys, here we go. Whew. Okay. Sorry, I had to run downstairs for a second. What day is today? Is it Thursday?
Today's Thursday.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Kids are out of school. They're running around, so never know when they're going to come in or out. Okay, oh gosh, yeah, Case Smalls. We'll get to all that in just a second. Okay, so we were talking to Joe from the Carolinas when I took a short break. And basically, we've brought up, you know, the Corey Good, Sather, Wilcock thing with the Secret Space Program. We started talking about Arizona. I know there's some stuff you guys want to see on it that we've been sent in. But, you know, before we get to any of that, Joe made a really good point. You know, it seems like the missing 411 seems kind of similar in a way. It seems like all of this... The new viral thing, and I think Joe made the perfect observation. He said that it's almost like these guys have to up their game a little. And it's kind of almost like they're degenerating and breaking apart and trying to grab at the next thing. It's almost like every level they go down in virality and fame, it's almost like they find something else that's major that pulls at our heartstrings to get regular people paying attention. Do you see that also, Joe? Do you think that's a correct statement?
Absolutely. And I think the number one tell that they kind of, whoever it is, that they give themselves away now, just within the past, I would say 6 months, is there's this kind of emotional plea. It starts out with an emotional plea, and then it jumps right to the conclusion. There's like this kind of assumptive process. So with this whole situation out there in Tucson that you've been talking about, it's like, we found a blank camp. Yeah, it's not any other kind of camp. It's a C blank camp. And it's like, huh? What? Based off of a little doll that somebody found in a hole somewhere?
Yeah, and you know, I'm glad you see this too, because you're not the only one that's felt that way, and I'm not either. I talked to many. I showed people the video after I went live, and you know, some of my buddies, I asked them to watch the link. I kind of tricked them. A few people I sent the link that I knew, you know, were my friends, so they'd actually, like, you know, give me a chance with it, and I said mute it and watch it. And because I feel like if you don't have them talking in it, that you come to a different conclusion, you know? And
absolutely.
And I like what you said, because it's almost like a tactic in a way. It's like, you know, we've got this thing, they draw the conclusion right away, and it's always, ironically, a conclusion that will, you know, A, hook the viewer, and B, they will benefit in some way from it, you know?
Exactly. I mean, if you look at the way that some marketing campaigns go for like social media, now it's all about capturing someone's attention within the 7 to 15 seconds of somebody clicking. So they know if they can grab audience retention that way, then they will hook people into the story. And the best way to do it is by making that emotional play, making this kind of vague conclusion, and then drawing somebody in by asking them a question. And I'm seeing this pattern more and more. And it's frustrating because as somebody that wants to look at things from a grounded standpoint, it's easy to get sucked in ourselves and be like, okay, well, yeah, let me watch this to see whether it's got any credibility. And then you end up watching and it's 3 or 4 hours later. And if you don't catch yourself, and I try to always check myself in the process, like, wait a minute, what is that based on? What's the foundation of this whole thing? You know, and so it's easy. I mean, we're all human, most of us, you know, and so being human, we're going to fall into that trap. And so that makes even us as content creators and live streamers, we're totally have fair game and have license to change our minds. Oh yeah. You know, we're allowed to do them, you know?
Definitely. And, you know, I see myself doing this. Like when I first watched it, I felt it's almost something you can feel. I think that's why it's so powerful. I don't know if anyone else has this happen to them, but some of these really suspect things, you'll be watching it, and it's almost like, you know, when you're watching a really good movie or a really good series where you kind of feel the feeling of the movie. Like when I watch Game of Thrones, it's different than when I watch like some random show because I kind of feel like I'm there and I'm surrounded in it. I get that same feeling, and it catches me while I was watching those videos and while I was hearing those guys like in my headphones right next to my ears saying those, you know, keywords so much. And if I wouldn't have been checking myself the whole time, like you said, because that's something I have to do myself also, I could see myself getting a little bit carried away with that concept they were pushing out, you know?
Absolutely. You know, and that's a normal process. And I think that when you've got people listening to you, I mean, this is where I kind of went after Sather's words, because Sather has a lot of people listening to him and his sort of headline chasing based on matters of health, right? Matters of the actual news. And people aren't cross-checking. People are just, okay, so we've got this going on, this, you know, and it's like, you could really cause a lot of problems to somebody, even emotionally, if you're just giving assumption. So then what ends up happening is somebody's so emotionally charged that the next story is what they always talk about, Uni, confirmation bias. Oh, therefore this story about this camp must be what the whole Q thing was all about. That confirms the Q stuff. It's maybe not, you know, especially with the whole Alex Jones $100,000 involvement. It's like, yeah, this is not Alex Jones's first go round, you know? So, and I have to say, I've followed Alex Jones daily, all 4 hours, Infowars.com, all 4 hours for years. And then I started thinking, you know what? He's just headline chasing. He's just pulling headlines off of the lamestream media and making a big ruckus about it.
Yeah.
Anybody can do that.
And it really got me, man, when Jones did, because I watched him a lot myself ever since September back in 2001, you know, like.
Oh, yeah.
He was a big champion for all that. And I hope that all of us, you know, let's say maybe, because what'll end up happening, you know, if one of your videos goes like 1 million views or 2 million views, or one of mine or one of the other guys that, you know, works like kind of like we do, you know, if we get on a big roll, the channel, one of our channels may get up there. I would hate to see, it's almost like you see bigger channels hit this one point where it all of a sudden all becomes about the headlines and the money and the business side of it. It's just a really scary prospect that if, you know, a good content creator becomes successful, does it mean they sell out? And I'm not saying Jones completely sold out. I get him needing to make money. I mean, he's running a whole production. He's doing a really big thing. One thing that sucks, though, is I do feel like his choice in content now is off of all trend graphs, and, you know, he's probably has people to analyze it and tell him what he needs to talk about, and that's sad considering how good he used to, you know, how good of an investigator and everything he was back then.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that it does change people. It changes what the demand is. And so the thing is, when you see that happening in your favorite YouTube personality, alternative media personality, or whistleblower, or insider's insider, that needs to be the sign. Like, there is a sign that happens, I think, within all of us as humans when that little reflex gets tripped. And it's like, okay, I followed you this long and I appreciate it. And right now I'm just taking a different path. Yep. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. And what I see is when people such as yourself, myself, and other YouTubers, when we call attention to the balderdash, it's like, you're trying to be divisive. You're trying to, you know, you're trying to run the person down. It's like, why are you categorizing me as being divisive? Aren't I entitled to the freedom that we all are fighting for to get at what this truth is?
You would think.
You know, we have the freedom to disagree. We have the freedom to be critical in a respectful, you know, non-doxing way, right?
Yeah, and that is one aspect of YouTube that hits you really quick, is not as much. It wasn't that bad, really, for me maybe a year ago or something, but now, man, it's like any topic I hit, if I'm critical of it, you know, there's a backlash. There's a very big backlash. I don't know if that just comes with, you know, like after you've done it for a while, that happens to everybody, or if maybe like it's just changed in the, because I see it happen with some of your videos, like where you talked about Sather, you can see it in the comments there. You see it really with anyone. And here's the thing, though, there are topics where there will be no backlash. I kind of use all this together, you know, in judging which topics are maybe, I don't know what word to use. Without sounding paranoid, it does seem like there are bots, or it seems like media does go as far as to control comments and other things. So let's say that maybe a certain hashtag or trend is really lucrative to a company, they may take some money and pay for a little protection in comments and in other, you know, spots you just wouldn't think they would be in. So
oh yeah,
you know, I'm seeing that also.
I mean, there's evidence to support what you're saying. I don't think that's paranoid at all. I mean, any of us could hop online and say how much, you know, cost for positive comments, cost for negative comments, buy subscribers, buy views, and all that ridiculousness. And it's like, I wonder, you know what, maybe I'm a little paranoid. I wonder, when all those big channels recently got banned, you know, and people have been kind of crying crocodile tears and all, I wonder how many of those channels ever paid for subscribers.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a good point.
How many? Because YouTube came out and said they hired 10,000 more people to kind of moderate content. And then like 2-3 months after that, all these channels start getting closed out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, and we saw it happen too with, I don't know if you've seen a channel, CW Chanter. I noticed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. CW Chanter and I are work together at times.
Really?
And big inspiration. Absolutely. Matter of fact, I included one of his clips on Jordan Sather Taken to the Woodshed video at the end. So people, when they see that video and see CW Chanter, go check out his channel too. Yeah, he has been in this fight since 2015, putting out some really hardcore, very logically, sort of very eloquently structured videos against all these people in the alternative media.
Yeah, that's what made me kind of like, I think that's where I saw him, was that video. I'd just forgotten about it. But yeah, he's really good at that. You know, he finds, you know, these real, he analyzes it so well, and then somehow you just follow what he's saying and you see his point so good. So yeah, if you talk to him, I'd love to get him and you sometime to come in and talk about a few subjects in a talk if we can in the future.
Yeah, it'd be great. That would be great. I'll send him a message and let him know.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing I always do when I get a guest in for the first time, we have, let's see here, about 330 people watching between the networks. So guys, let me make sure that I have all your, oh God, okay, Twitch is going to kill me. I'm making sure your Twitch is connected right now to YouTube, and YouTube is connected to Periscope and Twitch. I'm sorry if it wasn't up to now, but it will be from now on. I had to disconnect it when I went on the main channel, so please don't kill me, guys, on Twitch. Okay, so your chat now is connected. It's working. So I'm going to go, and we're going to transfer to the front screen for about another 45 seconds or something. Joe, do you still have a few minutes to take subscriber questions? Is that cool?
Yeah, that's cool.
So what we'll do is we'll get you guys, you know how it works. You type the word UNIRock2, and it'll show up red on my screen, as you see right there. Somewhere you'll see one. But anyway, please type UNIRock2 and any question you have, especially about YouTube, about any of the recent things. Now, I know you want to see the stuff that was sent to me about the dude's criminal background and all that. We'll take care of that later on, though. But if you have questions for Joe, you know, pertaining to anything that me and Joe talked about, especially anything that you want to ask Joe, let us know. Here we go. Heading to the front screen. About a minute. We'll be right back. If you need a drink or anything, man, go ahead and grab it. And
cool.
All right, here we go. I'm back. UNIRock. We've got Joe from the Carolinas with us. We're doing subscriber questions. You know, anything you guys want to ask in the live chat that, you know, I don't have to pull up, you know, information for, the question form type stuff. We're going to hit that real quick. Make sure, you know, give Joe's channel a watch. The mods have been dropping his link. He Hate Me just dropped it again. We got questions rolling in, so I'm just going to go ahead and fire them at you, Joe, and we'll get through all of them here.
I should say another good YouTuber that I think, you know, just kind of needs a drop is Chris over at Den of Lore. He's also kind of doing a lot of good work in actual interviews with leaders in the field in the alternative world. So,
okay.
Den of Lore is
Den of Lore.
Yeah.
Hey, Rachel, did we interview Den of Lore like 8 months ago? That was him? Okay. Yeah, I think we had him on once. So,
cool.
Yeah, maybe that would have been a while back. But yeah, definitely. We should get him in too again. If he'd be interested, that'd be tight. Okay, Jackie says, just saying, hey. Hi, Jackie. Okay, Genia says, please have Joe do the coffee thing. I love it. Coffee ad, thank you. What's she talking about, Joe?
So one thing that I do is just kind of, you know, have you ever heard of Jimmy Church?
Oh, yeah.
You know, Fade to Black. He's like, buy the coffee, Göbekli Tepe. It's like, what the hell does Göbekli Tepe have to do with buying coffee? But it's his thing. It's kind of Göbekli Tepe.
That's funny. Hey, Ingenia, there you go. You got it. That's tight, bro. Check out the K-Gun 9 video, 320 long, shows the site during the daytime. Will do, dog. We'll do here in a little bit. Thank you for exposing truth, says Aaron. Hey, no, thank you guys. Appreciate you. Lily says, Joe, have you heard about the senator not being allowed to check welfare of kids at these holding camps, and they say they are illegally there? I haven't heard of it. Have you heard anything about that?
I haven't heard anything about that, but I would say let's keep the politicians away from the kids, for crying out loud.
Yeah, right.
If they, you know, if they were effective in saving the children, we wouldn't be in the problems that we are now.
Yeah, man. And a lot of people don't understand. They ask me, that's probably one of the main questions lately that people say, why aren't you more political? And honestly, like, I do have opinions about politics. I just don't see, I don't see right now, maybe in the future someday I'll think about it. I just don't, you know, I can't get into it. It just seems like too much corruption and too much that they don't tell us, you know?
Yeah, I always thought that, like, I just didn't really interest me, because I always thought, like, if you don't want to work, you go into politics.
Yeah, that's what my dad always said. See, okay, it must be an East Coast thing, because, you know, my parents said the same thing. My grandpa always said that. He said you can't trust lawyers and politicians and stuff. And of course, he was just joking. And guys, don't get all crazy. I have friends that are lawyers and friends that are politicians, so it's okay. Okay, here's a good one from Chica Chilled. Joe, tell us your thoughts on Q. Was he a LARP from the beginning, or do you think that a hijack or a hacking took place later on? What's your personal thought?
My personal thought is I really don't know. I think that I've seen enough evidence that there was something that happened at the beginning that may have been informed, but it quickly went off the rails. I think in some of the videos and analysis that I've done, which is more like evergreen content on Q, I realized that something was wrong when people started following the breadcrumbs and losing sight of the bigger picture. I think that there was definitely a side effect that could happen from Q, whether Q is real, fake, or halfway in between, and that is, let's get all the Anon patriots. And now that the NSA has all these big supercomputer programs, right? I mean, Edward Snowden told us that. So let's get all these anonymous patriots to get behind their keyboards and to click on our links and to click on this story and this story and this story, so we can follow these little breadcrumbs or breadcrumb-based navigation all around the web. So now all these Anon patriots have identified themselves through their internet connections. And so to me, it's like, I look at it from I guess a different vantage point. I think the fact that there were people that were identified as being involved in perpetrating the Q hoax, you know, that you've identified, pamphlet, I think it's, you know, it's like, yes. And those people, usually assets they don't even know that they're assets. I mean, we know this from congressional record testimony on the MK Ultra, for example. You know, so assets in intelligence, they don't always know they're assets, and they don't always get paid for what they're doing.
True. So,
right. So you never know, you know, and I think that this is something that, because the alternative news is shifting so quickly, after just your average person has identified there's a problem with this Q thing, something's going on there. Here's the last thing I'll say on the Q thing, just for the purpose of this question. You know, it's kind of funny to me that we lose sight of Q level security clearance was with the Department of the Energy. There's a very limited number of people with that security clearance. So even if Q was legit at first, how long do you think it's going to take for the other side to figure out, okay, out of these 12 people, somebody is threatening us, somebody's observing us, somebody's telling the public, hey, go check this out. It was just a matter of time in my book. Plus, if it's tied to a certain administration,
yeah,
there's your end goal, man, you know?
Yeah, and that's the weird thing, man. Like, it's always bothered me so much, not the whole Q thing or how it happened, but I really did have this, you know, delusional dream that when this hack happened, that I'd do the video and show people, because I was on 8chan and recorded this hack thing that everyone talks about. I did a video showing everyone, and it got decent views. And I thought the response would be, oh my God, you know, the government or the bad guys or anyone. I thought that the audience would think that, you know, we have to do something because Q being anonymous, you know, they got him, you know, they kidnapped him, they killed him, whatever. Because people talk about that kind of stuff all the time. I was shocked to see that the response was different, that it was more like, you know, you're talking bad about this. Quit talking bad about Q, you know? Just really strange. Never happens the way you think it will, right?
Yeah, and like the other thing is that somebody in the chat room just said Trump confirms Q. Great. Then we all win, right? If Trump's going to protect us because Trump confirms Q, then Q has accomplished his or her its goal.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know? So it's past, and then the other thing is past proves, what is it? Past proves present, or present provides something to that effect. These little kind of riddles.
Future proves past. There we go.
Yeah. Well, what kind of constraints are we going to put on that?
Yeah.
You know,
and that is true. Open-ended. We have the thing where it's like it's the energy. It's like from the Department of Energy, which the only thing there would be what if it was Department of Energy, then I'd think a leaker from there could leak maybe nuclear stuff. I don't know. It's just so strange. Okay, here we go. We got Ask Joe if, I guess this question is basically saying, what do you think about Bigfoot is what someone's asking.
Oh,
so
yeah, it's possible. I mean, you know, we are finding new, we as science, mainstream science, are finding new species of fish, of different aquatic species. We're finding new species of insects and other mammals in various different parts of the unexplored world. And that's in mainstream white paper peer-reviewed journals. So to me, it really doesn't, it's not a far stretch to say, yeah, there's probably some fairly large creatures on this planet that we still haven't figured out. And the whole thing is nobody's found their bodies. Well, there's a lot of things that happen now. I spent a lot of time pretty much most of my time in the woods. And there's just weird stuff that happens in the woods to decomposing stuff. And you're not always going to get evidence. The problem with the Bigfoot skunk ape thing, and we got them down here in the Carolinas. I've never had an experience because I don't care to. I don't know why we'd go looking for danger, you know? Yeah. But the problem with that is that there's been so many strange hoaxes with Bigfoot that it's made the Bigfoot subject into a joke in the same way that Roswell, New Mexico has made crashed alien discs into a joke.
Very true, man. That's a really good way to look at it too. And that goes to show, maybe it is, maybe there really is a level of co-opposition when there is something real out there that maybe someone doesn't want us to know about. That's the main ploy, is make it look like a joke and people won't take it seriously. Okay, Sheena has a really good question for you, but Dwayne has a good one too. So give me just like the one thing. Sheena says, what does Joe ascribe his level head to? Is it family, life experience, another individual? What keeps you level-headed? And then after you answer that, another person wants to know, what do you think about the moon, and either have we been there, have we not, and then that whole thing. So I wanted to give something else to go into after that. Yeah.
What keeps me, I guess, level-headed, I'm not always level-headed. And then so what keeps me level-headed is the awareness that I'm not. And also, I think just life experience, when you work on the land, when you read a lot of different things, when you interact with a lot of different people, some of whom are stable and some of whom are quite unstable, you learn real quick that it's not about you. You know, it's not about your stuff, and it's also not about being right. It's about just taking it in and impartially weighing whatever subject we're looking at, whether it's what is causing this plant out here, this tree root, what is causing that to rot? You know, am I just going to go in and solve the problem, or am I going to figure out what the cause of the problem is? Well, to figure out what the cause of the problem is, we got to have a level head. We got to stay calm. We got to stay grounded and weigh out the different possible alternatives. But I don't feel like I can do that if I'm all upset and riled up and jumping and hooting and hollering. So true. You know, so self-awareness, I think, is a big part of that. Now, you asked about the moon.
Yeah. Yep. Anything you think on the moon, whether we've been there or not. I showed a video a few days ago to bring the subject back up again, and it was the famous video where we see Buzz Aldrin and the other guys kind of manipulating a window in the cabin of the vessel to make it seem like they're further away from the moon than they really are. It was released sometime in the 80s, I think, or in early 90s, and some people have been starting to question whether we've been to the moon or not, so they wanted to know what you thought.
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I've done a video on the moon yet. I've done a lot. So here's what I think right now on the moon. My opinion's constantly changed. I see one of these new documentaries and I'm like, okay, there's that piece of evidence that they were faking how far away they were with the cardboard. Things like that we never went to the moon, or a funny thing happened on the way to the moon. Yeah, and yeah, I saw that and I was like, okay. So basically what they're saying is their timeline is way the heck off. Bottom line. All right. And then we looked at the information from, I think it was the website was Apollo something or other, where they showed all the staging equipment, where they had cranes and they were, and I was like, okay. So the evidence is, well, I saw it on TV. We went to the moon because I saw it on TV. Well, that's true. I see Battlestar Galactica on TV. So, no, we were in a space race at the time. The Soviets had beat us to space. They beat us by not only being the first vehicle in space, but also the first man in space. If I'm not wrong on that, Yuri Gagarin. And I could see NASA wanting to have a fail-safe in case their communication system went down, like maybe a created moon that's artificial inside and outside and having some footage. I could totally see them having a fail-safe. They do that now with rovers. Yeah. Right? They have a mock-up that just today on NASA's live stream. They have a mock-up of the rover here on Earth. So that way they could test everything that they're going to do on that Mars rover here on Earth first to make sure it works there. Why wouldn't they have done that with the moon?
Very true.
Right?
Very true.
So I'm not saying we didn't go, but I'm saying there's enough doubt that it's possible we didn't go when we were told we went. And NASA always stands for never a straight answer. And they're lying by lie of omission. Yeah. Give us the raw data. Let us decide. Who are you? It's publicly funded, isn't it?
There you go, man. And that is so true. And that's the problem with some conspiracy theories, they call it now. It's been such a charged word, but the problem with some now is we don't really know I don't think we'll ever know now what really happened back then. It's been so long. They destroy the telemetry data has been destroyed or lost or whatever the excuse was, and exactly. All of that does add up to foul play, but we all have to stay as level-headed as we can, and until we get that one thing that says it's really hard to judge a complete conclusion. That's for sure. Yeah, especially if we're remaining level-headed,
Right. And there's no reason at all if Elon Musk can put that Tesla thing up in space and give us that real-time footage from multiple angles, allegedly, then there's no reason at all why we cannot now today in 2018 have the next moon mission that India is going to be sending up there give us live stream from the moon.
Yeah.
It was easy for them to do back in the 60s, wasn't it?
Exactly. Exactly. Okay, so another question is the age-old question that will light the live chat up with arguing until the end of the show, just so everyone knows. There you go, guys. You have it. They want to know your thoughts on flat Earth. Yourself.
Oh, I've looked into this. Thank you. So I've got a few videos out on this, on the flat Earth debate. And most recently, the flat Earth had a convention. It was at the Jury Inn in the UK. I thought that was kind of funny.
The Jury Inn. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, like the jury's in, you know. I kid you not. So anyways, I've looked at both sides and all sides, and in my humble view, I think that the round earth theory and the evidence for a round earth, as well as all of the evidence that the flat earth presents, I think both of them are practicing a polarized manner of thinking. I think that if you look at all the evidence, they're both wrong. I think that the earth is an oblate spheroid. So it's not a perfectly round billiard ball earth, and it's not a perfectly flat earth, because that doesn't make any hill of beans sense to me. If it's a flat earth, what's it sitting on? And their recent theory is it's sitting on pedestals. Fine. So what are the pedestals sitting on? Well, if space doesn't exist and space is fake, then there can't be any pedestals unless, what are we, in somebody's living room? So we're an oblate spheroid. We're a much larger, kind of fatter earth than I think that we believe. That's just my current view, and I could be wrong.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've been going down the thought process of you know, if I'm thinking about things, you know, I have to respect flat earthers because many flat earthers, I would go as far as to say 80% have it because of a religious viewpoint. So I do respect that.
Sure.
I wish I had that much faith myself. I don't yet. Maybe someday. But I do think, though, that the way light works in space has been obviously completely misrepresented to us from NASA. And I mean, if it didn't work the way that we think it does, then we would have better pictures of the planets that weren't mixed with X-ray and you know, other spectrums of light composited together to give us, you know, the view of a planet. We would just have a picture if light worked right. So
right.
I don't wonder if maybe the Earth, when you do go up really high and look down, I wonder if even light behaves the way we think it does, and if we're really seeing what we think it does in the long run. So I don't think there's a way to tell. I've always said, anytime anyone gets really heated in my chat, I always say, listen, I'll get a really, like, complicated video on flat earth done as soon as I go up there and look down at it, you know? Right
on. You know, and that's the other thing. It's like, I think that what the flat earth, round earth, oblate spheroid, or whatever in between, whatever it really is, I think what we're really debating, if you kind of boil it down to a foundational art, is what is real.
There you go.
And your reality is different than mine, and that's okay. But how can we all work together to get at whatever kind of truth so that it makes our lives better today?
Yeah, man.
So you know, like if we figure out that the earth is flat or round or whatever, okay, where's that going to get us? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, is that going to lock up the buggers quicker? You know?
I don't think it would, honestly. It'd still be the argument, in my opinion. And, you know, I think before the internet age, because I actually lived before the internet age for a very short time, and back then everyone had a more, you know, mind your own business when it comes to, you know, beliefs and fundamentals of the world. You know, that's more of a family thing, is how we all looked at it back then. In fact, my mom used to say, you know, because I was very prone to having debates with people as a younger teenager about the nature of reality, and she would tell me to keep that stuff down when I go to other people's houses and stuff like that, which because, you know, you have to respect others and their opinions and beliefs, and I think that we lose that a little bit in the current internet age with communication like it is. So
oh, absolutely. You know, and that's something that we, as people interested in whatever the truth is, whatever our goal that we're thinking about, that's something that we need to inject into this narrative, that we're human beings. We deserve to be respected. We can respect each other, especially when people are putting themselves out there. Even if we disagree with them, let's do it in a respectful way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because otherwise, what do we turn ourselves into? We go back a few thousand years to, you know, creating war. That doesn't sound too productive. I know you're a veteran. You know, it's like war is not a pleasant thing. I think people get the wrong impression. We don't want, you know, we don't want conflict.
Nah, man. Yeah, war is just death. It really is. It's just it's that moment, and I know you know this, but it's just the moment where we instead of punching, kicking, yelling, screaming, arguing, it's the moment where we kill each other. So, you know, that's the one thing. It sucks we haven't learned anything else about, you know, how to stop those from happening until now, as far as advanced as we all think we are. Maybe we're not as advanced as we think we are. Maybe that's the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Just a little bit or something.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Joe, bro, been a great conversation, man. We Likewise. Have a weekly like creator chat. I just want to let you know, after I always have somebody in, as long as, you know, we have a good conversation, I always tell that person, anytime that you may hear me say, hey, I'm having a creator chat, if you're available, you're always welcome. I'll try to let you know. CW Chanter, I'd love to get him in. If you could facilitate that in any way, let me know. I apologize, because I wanted to get you in last week, or maybe it was even a few weeks ago. I think on Twitter I messaged you, and honestly, my Twitter gets bogged up and emails get bogged up and I miss things. So
no worries. My schedule's been wonky too, so it's cool. I appreciate it,
man. I just want to make sure that you know, you and maybe get a few new people in to give some opinion. I think it really helps all of us, and it's definitely helped me getting your opinion in, just to keep myself grounded. So let me pull up your channel, and if you want, for maybe, you know, tell everybody one more time where they can find you, and you know, what you sum up what you do for them, so that anyone that, because, you know, live streams, people come in and go, so let them know, and that way they can find you.
Cool. So I started out on YouTube doing organic farming and permanent agriculture. So how to really physically be sustainable, as opposed to the buzzwords that the, you know, TV uses, and what it really looks like. And then I started confronting the paranormal, the conspiracy theories, the abnormal, the paranormal, and the normal, with reason, logic, and common sense. And so the videos that I've produced for you, most of them are evergreen, which means go check them out whenever you like. They're there, and most of them are going to be good as far as the thinking. And so I'm really committed to being a safe middle ground for people that are still questioning a lot of these theories. And I work very hard at trying to maintain somewhat of an even keel, but being human, I fully admit that, hey, I might be wrong too.
Awesome, bro. Yep, you can find him. Just search Joe from the Carolinas. Hey, do you restream, Joe? Do you restream on Twitch or anything? Have you figured that part of it out yet? Or
I haven't figured that part of it out yet. Mostly what I do is I just kind of rip and then repost. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's a website absolutely free called restream.io. And basically, instead of using your stream key from YouTube, you plug like YouTube, Twitch, or any other Periscope, and then you stream from Restream. You put its stream key into your streamer, and it works that way. And I only suggest this because the minute that I started doing that, you know, you gain, you almost can double how much exposure you get, because you're on all these different networks and people start stumbling in and finding you. So if you ever get a chance, check that out. And I just want to thank you for coming and talking to us. We really appreciate you, man.
Cool. It's been a pleasure, man. I really appreciate you having me, and thanks everybody out there for watching and joining along.
All right, man. We'll see you next time. All right, guys, that was Joe from the Carolinas. We're going to play a song and then transition back in so I can show you some of the new stuff you've been requesting that I mentioned on the main channel about Lewis, or whatever the hell the dude's name is. Veterans on Patrol. We're going to talk about him for a minute. And I know, you guys, I am not against those veterans out there doing what they're doing, other than the fact that I feel that because of the carelessness of this guy in power, he's not giving them, you know, a little bit of like talk about safety measures and how to handle evidence. And with his background, I have kind of unfortunately stepped up and said, definitely it would help out if they put somebody else in charge, because I think they could do good out there. And I know what's going on out there is bad. I know that there is a real problem. And I know Sawyer is really kind of like, you know, getting awareness to it. Now, We're going to talk about Sawyer a little bit tonight, too. But I'm not going to be as mean, I guess. Some people say I've been mean to Sawyer. I'm not going to be as mean as I've been before. But I want to tell you why I've scrutinized Sawyer. I'm glad I scrutinized him because you got to scrutinize everyone. I'm not saying he's off the hook because I want to see the results of what he claims he's done, and then maybe I'll feel better about it. But I will say that, A, I fully believe that anyone trying to help out in some way with addressing the situations of the trafficking, of the bad things that happen, I am for it. I am a veteran. I don't want people to be in danger, and I want them to be rescued and helped. I will say this, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart, that when they found the camp, the way the camp was reported, the way they represented the evidence at the camp was a complete fabricated lie, and I wish that Lewis would not have done that because it did discredit things further. That's almost like you say, are these people put there to discredit certain good things? And I'm telling you, that's exactly how it looks. I'm not telling you it is that way. We don't know how it is fully. I'm just telling you it's how it looks. The evidence rolling in that I have may make you understand more why in the Sam how I'm saying the things I'm saying. So let's get to it. Also, I'm going to go live on my main channel again and host a creator chat there. Joe, if you're still listening, or if one of you guys, I'm going to try to let him know also. If one of you guys want to tweet Joe or leave a comment on his YouTube somehow or whatever, let him know that in the few days, next week, whenever I can get it set up, probably next week, I'm going to do on my main channel, you know, the one with all the subs, I'm going to try to do a creator chat there to do a conversation, you know, and hopefully Joe can come because Joe's very good at speaking. And he knows that he's speaking to a big group of people, and he's responsible and respectful about it. And when I do open my channel up to people, I want them to be mindful of the audience and respectful. And I'm very thankful that Joe came in and talked. And I'm very, you know, impressed at Joe for, you know, he's been on YouTube a while. He's doing some really good things. I hope you decide to go check his channel out. Not only is he doing good work, he's putting logic first. He was doing that well before I ever found his channel. And I think it's just like, you know, the most badass thing out there. The only way we're ever going to get YouTube back to a place where maybe YouTube's not so apt to censor us and do all that is if we show YouTube that we are going to police ourselves. We don't need YouTube stepping in. We are going to call out the liars, the cheaters, and the people that are just trying to put on a big fake thing while telling you it's real. If they want to put on a fake thing, I'm happy. You know why? They tell you it's a show. They tell you it's fake. That's all good. But the only people I'm calling out, and I noticed that's the same with Joe and CW Chanter and a lot of these channels I'm finding, people are calling out the ones that are acting like something's real when it's definitely fake. And I'm very happy that we are moving towards a more logical side of YouTube. Let's get back into it. Here it comes. The new evidence turn-ins on #BackyardBrawl, including a massive amount of criminal background. Is it really, Lewis? I have done some fact-checking. I think it is. Let's find out the details, though. Let's actually see. These claims are not from me, so don't even get mad at me, everyone out there. UNIRock is saying he's a criminal. Well, we do know he is a criminal. He does have felonies, but we don't know the extent of it, and I'm not saying this. This is what the Chans said. This is what the Anons put out. So there are thousands and thousands of people out there seeing it well before I'm showing it to you. Do you want to see it? Well, let's see it. Dance. Let's go. And yeah, I gave Joe from the Carolinas permission to fly his UFO around my city in the sky. So if you see the UFO flying around back there, don't get scared. That UFO is not aliens. That's Joe from the Carolinas flying his UFO around the UNIRock city. So don't get panicked. That's just Joe back there, okay? His UFO's magical. That's why it can fly off the screen at the top and come back in at the bottom. I'm not lying right now, okay?
Everybody!
Okay, so what's the story behind the crazy crap I'm talking about right now? I'm putting that off the screen for a minute until I talk to you about it. Basically, in Tucson, you know what happened. There was a camp discovered. It was a homeless camp with evidence from the police, from ICE, from 2 agencies that investigate child crimes. They all said there were no evidence that anything bad was happening, and it was a homeless camp. But for some reason, an organization called Veterans on Patrol, headed by a man named Lewis with 4 other names. I don't know why. Lewis, who is a non-veteran, heading Veterans on Patrol, screamed and yelled and live streamed over and over again that this camp was a trafficking camp. Literally, while agency after agency came out and said, we've taken the evidence and it's not, he'd go live and say, yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Then another agency says it's not. He'd come out, it's a camp, man, it's a camp. Over and over until they bulldozed the site. And then it became, it's a cover-up. They bulldozed it. They would have never bulldozed the site if they would have found evidence, okay? So where does that lead us now? It's led us down a winding, twisted road of people like UNIRock saying that I don't trust this guy to be sending mobs of people into an area where Mr. Lewis says cartels are running with weapons all of these operations. Also, just today, mere hours ago, the group stumbled upon a human skull. Well, you know what Mr. Lewis did when he walked up to the skull? He decided to use his big old boot and kick it out from under a bush, take pictures of it, then use his foot to prop it up and make it more photogenic. We can't see the front fully, so use your foot, make it propped up, and let's take some more pictures and put it on Facebook before the cops get here. Or before, who knows, maybe they didn't even call the cops then. But they definitely put on a big Facebook show before the cops showed up. Then he's still streaming until the cops show up and screaming, still waiting here with an effing kid's body. Big show. Big show. His previous videos have been viewed over 3 million times, which is like almost record-setting on Facebook, right? Especially since it's all just happening. And there's a lot of mad people out there, but they're not mad at him. They don't mind that he kicks skulls around of deceased people and violates their, desecrates their remains. And he doesn't mind if he instructs people to stomp all around the area where it was found. And he doesn't mind if he tells people to carry guns just in case we find the cartel and get in a shootout with them. No, they're not mad at him for that. They're mad at me for being critical of him and others. Anyone that's critical of this guy is an immediate enemy and just such a bad person. I'm not exaggerating and I'm not being sarcastic. I'm being completely honest right now. That's actually what is happening. I was critical of Sawyer, who is a Marine, ex-Marine, who says he has an honorable discharge. There are several people saying he doesn't, but there is no evidence to corroborate that, and I'm going to defend Sawyer and say, until those people produce evidence, they may be actually taken to court. Because unless they have reason to say this, why did they say it? It's very strange. But maybe they'll produce evidence. Maybe I'll be put down for supporting Sawyer a little bit through this. Who knows? But I do support Sawyer as of now. I will say, very bad things happened the last time somebody did a To Catch a Predator. Remember that? Remember all the things that happened at the end of the To Catch a Predator? Well, that's what this new series on Netflix is, if you go watch the previews. It's a new To Catch a Predator, basically. Of course, they add in many other things like, you know, going around and trying to help families find lost girls and all that, too. Is To Catch a Predator a bad thing? I mean, they got a lot of guys off the streets, right? I mean, although several of their investigations had everything thrown out of court, and it basically just became a show because no one got charged, but because it kind of is illegal and it's kind of entrapment sometimes, depending on if they're following all the laws. We can probably count on Craig to follow... Craig? Is it Craig Sawyer? To follow the laws, though. I guess that's a debate. I'm not giving you an answer. I'm not telling you if it's good or bad. I think it's good. I don't know why the court thought it was bad and decided to throw out some of those investigations, entire investigations. I guess maybe it depends on jurisdiction, but all I know is anything that helps solve this problem is good, as long as people aren't put in danger and people's remains aren't desecrated in the process. And Sawyer had nothing to do with that, and that's why, until we have more on Sawyer, I'm going to lay off of him. Trust me, guys, I've been trying to be as neutral as possible throughout this. And some of you are going to say, yeah, right, you haven't been neutral, UNIRock. Well, I'm sorry, but Lewis going around calling himself a veteran on patrol and then winds up not being a veteran, it does upset me. I'm over it now, okay? So you don't have to worry about me getting mad now. And then when I saw him doing that shit to the skull, yes, it did anger me. I'm sorry if my emotions come out. This is what I do. I sit in this seat and I'm just myself. So yes, emotions are going to come out sometimes. I do my best. That's all I can offer you is the best. My best try. Just like Joe said, I'm only human. And I'm going to mess up. Of course, I'd like to stay more neutral in these situations, and I'm going to learn from this, I hope. But I'm going to tell you, don't take any guarantees. Hell, if this happens again and some other guy pretends to be a veteran on patrol and goes and kicks some dude's dead body around, I might just get pissed all over again and start yelling. So just be ready. Okay, so I guess you're going to... Now we are caught up. We are at the level that we are now, and I can tell you about 4chan. Okay, days ago, and thank you for donating those bits, my friends. Those bits add up. They add up good. You want to give me bits? I love bits. They're free. You can click on Get Bits, and it gives you a free option to get bits, by the way. Or you can pay for them, but there are free ones. Anyway. Oath Keepers put a call to action out 22 hours ago, but I have recently saw where Lewis said... OKs fled the scene? Wait, what are the OKs? Thanks, Neo. That does mean a lot, man. Does mean a lot to me when you say that. Neo said, get pissed all you want. We understand and have your back. I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, that's a person. I know when you see a skull, it's hard to remember, right? But it is. That's a human being. If things were different, that could have been Lewis. If that was different, that could have been one of us. If life would have been different. No matter what matters is, it is a real person. And I guarantee you, and I'm going to say it, I would not like for some douchebag walking through the desert to start kicking my skull around after I die. I would hope that people would have more dignity than that, more responsibility than that, more tact. And then just a few seconds later, he starts screaming into the live stream, you know, waiting here with a fucking dead body. You know, it's just insane, man. I'm going to show you where he screams it. I uploaded the report with the full list of offenses. I don't think it voids the investigation, Trump, but I do think that, you know, it's definitely disrespectful and fucked up. It is. Okay, so what do we got? Okay, Flora has a past case, also bankruptcy, and also from North Carolina, like Lewis. Oh boy. So here's his list. So what is this? Basically, a few days ago on 4chan, I noticed that people were very mad about the QAnon community flooding 4chan with this. A Anon popped up called TUCSON Anon, and they were all over 4chan, basically starting Q shit all over again with TUCSON Anon. Okay? They were going into all this stuff about, all this craziness about the CMEX plant, which, by the way, it does seem like there are some very shady and evil connections into CMEX. Now, how do we know that a lot of this is overhyped and it's bullshit? They literally are saying, and I tried to check for evidence on this, that CMEX's cement is riddled with the body parts of ground up people, with no evidence to support their claim. At least where I saw it. Where I saw them saying this, there was no evidence. Amper, dude, you are the funniest person, man. Yeah, cement equals dead people. So on 4chan, this was days ago, and it was in here. It was in this list. People were putting links to 4chan where they were investigating Lewis's background because they were upset with Lewis for some of the things that were going on. And they basically realized what Lewis was. I know what you're saying. I know people are saying Lewis isn't homeless now. I get that. He was homeless for the first while that he started this Veterans on Patrol thing, okay? That's what I was trying to... Oh, what'd Roy say? Oh, that's Roy's old one, right? Let's see. Did Roy do anything else on this?
That understand, know that I'm taking note, okay? So I just want to bring that up. And as everybody can see, I've called this the age of deceit and fanaticism. You know, things are getting crazy. I thought about this morning what I should cover. And of course, the OIG report, which they keep trying to put off, the situation with the Mueller investigation and how out of control that has become and how it's ripping the country apart. There's so many really bad things happening that I just didn't know where to start. Welcome as you come in, by the way, everyone. You know, it really is a tactic to overwhelm you with mass. It's a principle of war, and they're doing it with information just as much as they do it with soldiers and mechanized units and air forces and all that. Same thing I've talked about before, but we're seeing so much of it at this point on all sides. What you would consider the conservative good side as opposed to the leftist bad side, if you want to use those terms, and I do. It's really getting to the point where it's almost like people are nuts, are crazy. I was listening to Lionel the other morning, and he says this often now. He says, "Don't lose your mind. You know, take it easy. Don't lose your mind." Now, people will say, "Well, Roy, that's really weird coming from you because you get upset all the time." Yes.
Yeah, we do. We do get upset a lot. You know, we're facing into a thing that is impossible to ever defeat. Why? Because we're facing constant lies. We are facing people that are evil enough that they don't have honor in their soul, their body, and deep inside of them, it's not about doing the right thing. It's not about being honorable. It's about fulfilling their selfish demands, their needs. That is where this comes from, this thing where even though I may be looking at evidence that tells me something, I'm going to say something different when I go live or when I'm in front of people because it will benefit me in the end. Now, Roy does not do that, and Roy is a good guy, in my opinion. Some of you guys don't agree with me, but I really think you should open up your mind and watch his old stuff. Been there for a long time on YouTube doing this. I've never really seen him do something where I would think he, you know, did anything more than try to represent what was going on. Okay, back to what we were talking about. So on 4chan, the Anons started looking into Lewis because of Lewis's... They saw the same... The Anons are smart people, my friends. They are. They all sit and discuss this stuff, and they are very harsh with each other, and they demand a very high standard. They really do on the chans. And they looked at this the same way I did and said, that is not what Lewis is saying it is. And when they heard Lewis say those words 50, 60, 70 times over and over, pushing a narrative, they said to themselves, there is something more behind this, and it seems to be coming from this Lewis guy. So they dug deep, and on 4chan, you guys immediately, the Anons that are behind me that really aren't, they don't buy into the Q stuff. They don't buy into a bunch of the crap. They just go there to do the research and do what they need to do. And a lot of Anons started sending me, you know, stuff from the Q research board trying to show me the evolution of this. They knew it was going to be a trend even before it became one. They started sending me things off of the chans that were about this man's criminal background. They did this and represented it to me as, I'm trying to find the clip here. They represented his background to me, as he's asking for money. The guy is lying his ass off in that first video. He's got a big trend that popped off thanks to QAnon supporters on Twitter and on the chans. You know, what's behind this? Who is this guy is what they wanted to know, and they dug deep. What they did was take his phone numbers, which thankfully he has not changed for a long time, and they reverse searched it into a database of criminal behavior with his name. What they found is his name is Michael Myers. Isn't that weird? Or Meyer. Michael Meyer? Isn't that weird? Let me get to it. Okay, here we go. I gotta be careful. Let me move this over here because I don't want any of their personal data. Okay, they didn't put it in. Good. So their personal data is not even here. Flora Troy is the wife. Flora Troy. Gives credit to law enforcement, but not Lewis. So they found several really bad, and I'm only going to say this because it is on the chans and it's already making its rounds. You have to investigate whether you believe this or not. The only thing that makes me kind of say this is worth talking about is because basically what it came down to was the Anons found 3 or 4, you know, felonies and misdemeanors well before they got the full report. Then they thought about searching the number and pulled the full report. What they received was those same ones linking to him that he's admitted to on Facebook and talked about before in other articles out there, along with many more. That's why some people think this is credible. What are some of the offenses? I'm not going to list them all. And I'm going to tell you this. This is not coming from UNIRock. It's coming from 4chan, from Anons. Trespassing in the 3rd degree. Criminal. With property. Disorderly conduct. And we know those, though, come from the Bundy thing and from the other thing that you guys told me about. More disorderlies, not bad. More criminal trespassing, same thing. 2nd degree criminal trespass, literally like 20 criminal trespasses. That makes sense, right? Another trespass, disorderly conduct, disturbance, criminal littering and polluting. Disorderly conduct, criminal trespass, 3rd degree, 2nd degree criminal trespass, littering and polluting again. Breaking and entering an unoccupied structure, 2 of them. The drug charges that he admitted to, so he's already admitted to all that. Deception to obtain drugs, felony 5. For B&E, unoccupied structure. I don't know what conversion scrub code is. I don't know what that means. Basically, when I asked everybody that was, you know, finding this, you know, like, how do you know it's him? Because it links to his phone number is included in it. That's how it was pulled. What's the scary part about this? That was just from one state from what I've seen. Is that true or not? I don't know. Are all these him? All we know is it links back to the name and the phone number. That's all I can tell you. Does that say anything bad? No, it just tells us the same story we already knew. So, just so that you're prepared, I'm sure other channels are going to jump on it. I'm sure people are going to be putting this out on websites. All this information is going to come out. It's best that you hear about it and you know how to apply it to the situation. In my opinion, just my opinion, I don't think you should let this weigh in a hell of a lot when we have more important things to focus on. Focusing on this, in my opinion, even though, yes, I thought about not even bringing it up, I knew that it would come out on other channels, so I thought, let's get it out and look at it logically here first. I think that what you'll find out is we've all have bad things we've done in our lives, right? Some of us never been in trouble with the law. Some people have, though. You know, people learn from their mistakes, grow up, they stop doing those things typically, right? But I'm not defending Lewis. I still don't know why he invented Veterans on Patrol as the sole member. For a long time, he was the only one there doing it, and then finally got more people that were veterans in on it, and then finally went viral and got hundreds and thousands of volunteers. You know, what's going to happen next? Well, let me tell you, and then we're going to hit the live chat and we're going to end this out, I think. I'm going to check again to make sure I got everything, because there's more stuff. But what we're going to see next is people just going batshit crazy over the skull. They're not going to talk about the desecration of it, and they're not going to talk about kicking it and how they mishandled the evidence there, the scene. They're just going to talk about how this Lewis guy is a hero, and it's right, and it's good, and that's just what you're going to see on all those damn QAnon channels, all those YouTubers that bring it up for the most part. You'll get some skeptical YouTubers who I think will try to keep in mind that, you know, this is not a good thing yet. It still hasn't fixed the problems that are inherent with it. It's only going to lead to something really bad happening unless they do something about the leadership and get it fixed, in my opinion. But what is your opinion? That's what I want. Get a type in it. We're going to the live chat right now. Careful, Joe. There's skyscrapers. Careful with that UFO. All right. Michael Arthur Lewis Meyer. So I guess his middle name is Arthur-Lewis. So you could say Michael Meyer, middle name Arthur Lewis. Okay. Somebody said Flora Troy Meyer. Oh, oh, yeah. The wife or whatever. Okay. Did you see the vid inside the bunkers and tunnel? Probably not, honestly. I'll have to look at all their newer videos. People are I'm sure people are submitting them. I'll take a look. We just had a teenager body found near me, and they said nothing until it was totally investigated from CJM. That's typically how it goes, I would think, right? Ted Gunderson Co-Intel Pro on YouTube? Barbara Hartwell? Huh. Look at the different organizations that she collects gift cards for. Like, who? The wife? I heard there was graffiti that said trust sessions inside the bunker. Really? Are you kidding, or is that serious? Gift cards aren't very traceable, not during, and you don't have to pay, you don't have to worry about taxes. See what I'm saying? You see why it's great at gift cards now? He made a huge scene at the VA? With a vet? Who did? You guys are just kidding. You're joking now. You typically get 20. You can get 10, 25, or 50. Sometimes you can even get 50 for watching one ad. Depends on the ad, though. The longer ones that you get a click in will give you more, and the shorter ones will give you less. I don't know. We don't have that information yet, guys. That all is on 4chan. I'm sure if I went and looked right now, I could find it, but we'll talk about that some other time. What video are you guys talking about? Tell me. Come on. MK. What video are you talking about, MK? He has charges in Ohio as well. Wait, did you guys put the more charges down inside the room? I got a room in my Discord called Operation Backyard Brawl Evidence. Please put all this stuff in there for me. I found out the center of MK Ultra programming, Walt Disneyland, was a training facility. MK equals Magic Kingdom. Strange. Yeah, madame. Not his first veteran organization either? Check out his behavior on top of the tower. Listen to his voice. Seemed a little high. I said the same thing, K. Smalls. I said the same thing. I said the same thing. Oh, me too. Me too, Revenant. Yeah, when I was a teenager, oh, I was an asshole. I'm lucky I don't have a record either, bro. Young and wasted, yep. I like that he is trying to help vets, although he's helping himself too. I like that he brings attention to the plight of homeless veterans. What I don't like is the way he gets the attention. There you go, TTM. Very good. Weaponized hashtag. Yes, sirree. You're giving 2 weeks notice, Liz? What for? Is Doc Lupo here? What's up, Doc? I'm gonna reload my chat. I don't know if it's going slow or something. Looks like it is. There it goes. Let's see what else has been dropped in my Discord lately, if there's any new evidences or something. And by the way, if you want to find out all the details on the cases, you can go search the case numbers and find it out for me and give me more evidence and stuff. Okay, well, let me move this over. The area is well known for illegal border crossers, Sheriff's Department said. And yeah, this doesn't look like a kid's skull to me. Why don't I think that it looks like a kid? What is that? We got an article on it. Okay. I'm not disabling my ad blocker. I'm not, so goodbye. Oh shit, son. Dude, where are you getting all this information? Holy shit. You guys are forensic geniuses. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the hell? Just watch it scroll. Watch it scroll. There was so much more than I thought. Holy shit. Oh my god, does it stop? 6 pages? 7 pages? What's the worst one? He pollutes a lot, dude. Criminal polluting and littering over and over again. Does he never stop this shit? Oh my god, offense not available. Why wouldn't the offense be available? Resisting officer without violence? So many breaking and enterings for an unoccupied structure. Illegally processing drug documents. What the hell is that? Man, you guys are freaking geniuses. I don't know how you guys do it. Illegal parking. My heavens. That's what I just pulled out of Discord, was that stuff I was just reading to you guys. That was from somebody dropped that in my Discord. Wow, dude, Eric, you are a valuable very valuable asset in my research things. Please stick around. I need you, bro. Great skills, dude. Great skills, dude. Why does it every time they look at this, it keeps looking more and more different every time they pull this thing up? So ridiculous. I don't know, guys. What do you got? Type it. Type it in the chat. Let's get this thing finished up. Literally insane. I gotta sit down and process all this. He was homeless for a long time when he started the program. He admitted that on his own Facebook page. He was interviewed by a media outlet back in 2015, and he said that he was homeless and he hung around all the homeless people there, and you just got to read the article. He said he wasn't a veteran. Basically, he's a career criminal disguised as a hero veteran. Yes, Rhett, that's the best way to put it, Rhett. Perfectly put. Oh, talk it up. Sorry I flipped on you that day, bro. It was just a stressful day. Really appreciate you, though. That does help. The background check thing helps a lot. Okay, Trish, let me pull it up. Same name, right? Because if it's not the same name, I will not be able to find it. I'm just telling you. There it is. Okay, let me accept your messages. Well, you know what? I'm just glad that others think exactly like I do. Listen to this. Brett on Twitter talks about them finding this. I found out this skull was discovered under a bush, kicked out from under it, and turned up right to photograph. That's not the way anyone should be handling potential evidence. You should not touch anything. Leave the scene intact and contact LE immediately. Personally, don't think live streams, photoed, posted online are wise either. Not passing judgment, just letting people know. If you happen to ever be in the position where you come across a potential crime scene or evidence, do not mess with it and do not enter anything to interfere with the Leo investigation. Very true. I just cannot. I have to take a short break because I cannot take all of the biased truther behavior. It's too damn much, guys. My God. So many people are out for the truth, but they'll only report it the way they want it reported and said. They cannot take criticism. They cannot, you know, analyze any other possibilities. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Liz, they find the fucking skull and then they start playing frickin' soccer with it. Of course, what I just said was very much exaggerated, but they did kick it around so that they could flip it up and make it photogenically photographable for Facebook. It just bothers me. Vanessa says, I think Sawyer has a responsibility to clarify his reasons for pushing this site as something it obviously isn't and for promoting a lying criminal. Yes, I'd feel so much, look, Vanessa, wouldn't you feel a lot better about Sawyer if he would? Because I would just, like, trust Sawyer more. I'd be happier. It'd make me, I want to trust Sawyer. I'm not just saying that. I mean, God, if he was a SEAL team, I mean, he acts like he knows how to, you know, I watched some shows of him shooting a sniper rifle with that really famous Marine guy who was in all the movies, and I really want Sawyer, you know, to be legit. I want him to do, come out and do the right thing. He needs to stand up against this guy and give this guy who's going batshit crazy in Tucson, this fucking criminal that's not even a veteran, Sawyer needs to stand up and tell this guy and give him some advice and maybe go train him. Maybe go offer this group some training on how to handle evidence, how to safely conduct these things they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, DB Cooper, the truther community is in ruins, dude. Exactly. Yeah, no, Liz, you are so on it. Yeah, I know, Michelle, you're right. Sawyer did back off. He did back off, but he needs to counter the damage that he did in making this go viral by standing up to this guy. The last live stream he did, he almost sounded like he was addressing it and telling people to stand off from it, but he wouldn't say what he was talking about. He left it very open-ended so that you had to wonder if that's what he was talking about. Yeah, it's the same Lewis from those standoffs with Bundy and the other ones. Pretty sketchy that he was arrested and him and his wife were just let off the hook at the Bundy thing and the other thing they were part of. Yeah. Big cleanse? The what? The show Maybe on YouTube? I'm not saying he's not. Yeah, Don, I agree. I'm not saying that Sawyer isn't a Navy SEAL, and I'm not saying he isn't a veteran. I'm saying I wish he would come out, clarify things, and tell this Lewis guy to fuck off and let another person handle everything going on down there. Because all this Lewis guy is doing is damaging all of it and just really jacking things up. Standing up for the truth. Sawyer is not questionable, and until you see it, you don't know if it is or not. If it is or not, what? Thank you, Don. Thank you, yeah. Okay, no, MK, no problem. Whatevs. Okay, he was the refugee who got into a fight with a wounded veteran and his friend got knocked out. Okay, because I read about that. Double the doubt cancels it out. Well, I don't know what that means. Homeless veterans in Asheville, North Carolina. According to ABCCM, 500 women on a waiting list for a shelter and 300 homeless children. Thank you. Exactly. There's a lot of a homeless problem right now. That's most likely what that... I mean, 99.9% that is what that camp was. Don, exactly. I agree. Oh, shit. Hold on. Colorado FL Girl, is that the name on Twitter? Because I want to see that right now. Where's my Twitter? I want to see that right now. Is that your same name?
Hi folks, Craig Sawyer, law enforcement. I won't say which agency or which. They make accusations and they go off on goat trails. Well, let's have the followers.
Okay. What did you tweet me under? What name? Awesome, Fresha. Thank you. Okay, I want to find this thing about the fire. Someone, the wild card 0. Okay, Colorado, thank you. At the wild card 0. Under my requests, right? Did you just tweet it to him? Did you send me a DM or did you just tweet it at me? Let me look. There it is. A huge fire was just reported next to I-10 in Tucson, location of the CEMEX plant. This is the location where... That's not the location where the camps were. There's no evidence of camps there. Okay, so that's the location of the CEMEX plant. Well, that's not that big of a fire, though. Could the brush have caught on? The biggest happening will be Tucson Gate, when Jay Rothschild, Tucson mayor, is outed for doing things with the help of Casa de los Niños and the Clinton Foundation. This is the lead and the happening of 2017. Casa de los Niños. Pretty crazy shit, man. Yeah, it's going to probably take a couple weeks before we get anything back to find out how the age of the person based on the skull. Kim Raffleson. That sounds just about maybe staging it as an intro to something they know is coming that will tie in and give credibility. That makes me want to save that thing I just found. There, I got it saved. Bliss, you are right. That's what all of us said. We said it looks like an adult or a young adult. Don says, Uni, I saw an Arizona reporter tweet that he is following the story closely and he was told the skull is an adult, not a child. It looks like an adult. Because people don't understand that, you know, there's a lot of material on it. They're looking at a human head and then comparing it to the skull. You got to look at a human skull and then compare it to the skull. Yeah, it had a molar showing also, Dodger said. Los Niños is a volunteer group. Are you all forensic anthropologists? No, you can just go read this stuff. If we were forensic anthropologists, we'd be the type of people that get the skull and then, you know, went to school to be able to perform the tests on it. We can't do that. We can definitely look at what the skull has represented in it using logic and intelligence as college-educated adults and try to make, you know, basic general assumptions until we get facts. But what's going to happen when it is an adult skull or close to an adult skull? Everybody's going to come out and say it's just a damn cover-up, right? Because that's what everything else has happened in this situation. All right, yeah. Tweet that. When you tweet it to me, DM it to me, but make sure you tell me what your Twitter handle is so I can find it. Fredhead says, I am a forensic anthropologist, actually. Thank you, Thomas. Exactly. We have to have this response because of the amount of insane fervor people are showing to this. They're acting like they can trust this criminal who duped you all into thinking that he was a veteran and now won't address it. And any reporter that is allowed to ask him questions has to be volunteered for a week to get any questions from him. That's the defense of someone that's been busted. He just wants to live in his little bubble where he's a veteran when he's really not. He's been outed as not a veteran. His statements of fellow veterans now make him look like a very deceitful person instead of, you know, a person helping kids. And you can tell why he wants everybody. This guy's in his 40s. He's lived his entire life as a criminal, and now he wants to feel like a hero. Before he dies, he wants to do something good, so he's trying to force it. He's trying to force it out there that he's this big hero. Surrounding himself with people that'll drive down there and treat him like a hero, treat him like a leader, treat him like an important person, instead of what he's been treated like his entire life, a criminal. When you look at his background check, having 60 different charges, all within the high misdemeanor to low felony range, yeah, this guy is... He's a guy who's been arrested his whole life, proven, and he wants now to have people treat him. But see, that's the thing. When you're a career criminal like that, instead of going about it the right way, instead of going about it the honorable way, you want to go about it the fast way and the forcible way, so you can just get right to the benefits. He is conning people, for sure. Is the skull from a giant or an elf? Let me look at it again, and I'll actually try to do some measurements. You guys can pull up these pictures very easy. Just go in my Discord. So we've got a guy holding his camera like this. And when he does, it looks like it's almost to the tip of the skull. Maybe an inch or two up from the skull. And he's holding it like this. It looks like a full adult. Let me pull up an adult skull versus a child skull. Because guess what happens if this isn't a child's skull? It makes Lewis a liar again. Because he called a bunch of agencies and told the agencies that he found a child's skull. YouTube, I'm doing this for medical reasons with plastic medical skulls, okay? Okay, so this is an adult male. There's no doubt in my mind that this is an adult skull now. All I have to do is pull it up and compare it. Male skull to a female skull. Can you guys see this? Right here, male to female. And YouTube, these are not real skulls, so you cannot charge me. Charge me. Now, I'm looking at the pictures over here off your screen of what they found. And I'm here to tell you, this looks like a full-grown adult. It just looking like. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that's what it looks like. Completely. It's even got... It looks like it's fused at the top, too. Yeah, it's completely fused. What age does the human skull fuse at the top? At what age does the human skull fuse? During the first 2 years of life, separate bones of skull slowly begins to fuse. The fusing process takes multiple years because the brain is still growing, and it will not reach adult size until approximately age 7. So this skull is definitely over the age of 7. Skull development in infants. No, not infants. Let's go skull development. And it really sucks that we have to do this, because you can just look at the damn thing and see that it's an adult. Teens to mid-adulthood. Typically defined by the eruption of the third molars around the age of 17. This in turn serves the division between subadults and adults. That's what we have to look for. I'm gonna have to download the fucker to be able to goddamn tell if it's got molars. You can see, I could be able to see whether it does or not, but I'm gonna have to download it to blow it up. That's the size of a... That's the size of an adult. I can just tell by it being held up to this guy's size. Like, this dude looks like he's got size 12 shoes on, boots on next to the skull. Size 12 boots, and it looks like this is... Let's just guess it's 8 inches. Size in inches of adult skull. Oh, well, look at that. 8.5 inches high. And I did not know that figure before I said that. I was just guessing off of what I was looking at. He does have really big boots, yeah. Long ass boot. You know how you can tell? Because somebody are going to say, well, no, his boots are small. You look at the fucking foot to the tip of the toe, and you can tell how long the fucking foot is. See? This is science. Oh, God. Basically, guys, these people, I'm going to tell you right now. If I find out it's an adult skull, I'm done with them. I'm completely against them after that. I gave them a chance to be realistic, and they've failed every time up to now. Now they've got this skull, and they told news agencies, YouTubers on Twitter that it was they said, they told from Facebook that it was a kid's skull. If we find out it's not, then we have our final piece of the puzzle to say that no matter what happens, Lewis is going to lie and try to make you think his narrative so he can continue to collect money from you and screw you over, peeps. It's just the truth. I'm sorry. I don't want it to be this way. I don't want these losers to keep trying to manipulate people and mess with them. I don't want that to happen. I want people to do the right thing and be cool and be right about things, you know? Alright, I just had to update the info, the about section of that video I did earlier on UNIRock. Make sure it's there and working and everything. Everything's going good there, so I got it done. Very true, Dodge. Thanks, guys, for being here, for being open-minded, for supporting us. If you want to follow us on Twitter, you'll know when we go live. Follow us on Twitch to support us and subscribe over there. Also, you can make a PayPal donation if you really like my work and want me to continue streaming and creating as much as I do. Consider donating on PayPal and Patreon. But never donate to any YouTuber if you can't get by yourself and still have money to put in the kids' college fund. Okay? There are free ways to donate in the description for anyone that's monetarily unable to if you still want to support us. Go to YouTube, go to UNIRock for me, like that video I did earlier, share that video I did earlier, leave a comment on that video I did earlier, rep the Uni Squad on my main channel, please, for me. I really do need you guys to do this. Rep the Uni Squad, go to the video on my main channel and give it a thumbs up and leave a comment and represent kindness and logic while you're leaving comments over there for me, okay? We need it. Because people are going to attack the video. If I don't, unless I'm doing a video that's, you know, following their narrative, they're going to attack it and tear it down and flip out like they do my videos over here on UNIRock too. You know it's true. You know it. I like challenging people, though. The people that are subscribed on UNIRock, if they want to unsub or flip out because I make the videos I make, that's good for them not to be subscribed. I don't need a bunch of closed-minded, you know, judgmental, hyped people to be subscribed on UNIRock. I don't need that. Definitely don't. Not good for my channel. Yeah, it does suck. I know, man. None of us can have even a basic conversation about human anatomy, I know. Oh, there it is. I've completely forgot Colorado girl, but I will pull that up. Human remains found in a desert near Manville Road. Deputies respond to reports of human remains on a remote desert near Manville Road. According to Pima County Sheriffs, deputies were led to a human skull. The remains were collected and thorough search of the area was conducted. That's why you want the police to search the area and not have those idiots stomping all around there. Pima County Office of Medical Examiner Forensic Science Center was able to determine that it was the skull of an adult. Let's go to Twitter. Actually, they won't believe me if I highlight it unless I provide a screenshot. Well, what do y'all got to say now, peeps? Just by basic, analysis, we can see. There's another tweet that hopefully people will freaking retweet for me. Oh well. Maybe someday the world will get their shit together. Oh, guess what? I forgot the other thing I meant to tell you guys in this show. This other big extreme thing. I, the spy, is a liar. Oh, yeah, the same I, the spy, that's trying to get everybody to believe that on June 11th, the biggest thing ever is going to happen. He put out, like, something about being shot or something. 0 Hour did something about it. Let's go see what 0 Hour has to say. I hope 0 Hour explains it in a way that's easy to understand, though. Please, 0 Hour, tell me that you did this for me. The witch hunt and the DOG Democrats. What is it? QAnon news gets in here. Breaking QAnon news, get in here. What? What do you got, bro? Oh my god, he's got a skull.
I, the spy. QAnon has taken a turn. A new turn in my investigative situations. Seems like the QAnon account, I the Spy, had a Gab account that it deleted right before it made its Twitter account. Now, why would this account delete itself off Gab? Why? Well, you know why.
Why?
You know why.
Why?
Because it's fake. It's
Why?
fake.
Tell us how it's fake.
The account existed on Gab, but then they deleted it off Gab.
Okay.
Which only says to you that it's fake. Fake.
How?
Fake.
How,
fake,
dude? Come on.
fake,
Come on. Zero.
fake,
Zero.
fake.
Don't do this. Just tell me how.
Oh, wow. I don't know why it says that. Unbelievable. Oh, my God. These guys, they're getting desperate. They're getting desperate. This is the act of desperation between this whole crew of LARPers. So why didn't any of these investigators out there, who are the QAnon experts, why didn't they look up to see if any other accounts had been made by the name I the Spy? They never looked. Why don't they look these things up? Why don't they look them up when you see things like this go on? When you see someone come up online and they say, I'm with the National Intelligence Agency, I'm the insider. Why didn't they look it up? I the Spy had already been created on Gab prior to its coming about. Why didn't they look it up? Why not? Because they don't want to. Because they want to.
Okay. Anyway. Where's this thing about him being shot? I guess I'm going to have to go to his Twitter. So something about a fake picture where a guy gets shot or some shit. What? Are you kidding me? Come on. "38 minutes ago. Be careful, the rodents are after you. Breaking QAnon news. Slipping over to Gab to talk to Andrew. You demand. Nice spot only. Do me a favor. Restore the account I the Spy for me. Only a freaking dummy LARP deletes his Gab account. This is my domain. Twitter is mine. Take that LARP back to Facebook. I the Spy. I'ma be the one that rips your digital mask off. Gab is an ad-free social network dedicated to preserving individual liberty, the freedom of speech, and the flow of information. Why did you delete your account, LARP? Okay, where is it, dude? Something about... I had it pulled up and I closed it. There it is. New QAnon got shot, no blood though. LOL. LARP Squad News Hour. Let's see.
Liking it. Look at or no bruising inside. Is crazy stuff going on, guys. QAnon has finally revealed himself. He's been shot. Yet no blood or no bruising on the body. Nothing. Shh. Don't tell anybody. Shh. That's not a wound. But you're not supposed to know these things. Oh my God. These guys are going for broke. Now they've been shot by the deep state. I the Spy. It gets better by the day. It really does. I look at it and I go, oh my God. Seriously, these people have absolutely lost their mind, and everybody's liking it. Look at that. This is how the tarded trailer parks work. You know what I'm saying? This is how the tarded trailer parks work. A guy got shot by the deep state. Don't tell nobody. Like, I mean, really. QAnon shit gets funnier by the minute. Oh man, I cannot keep up with the shenanigans. Oh my god. I cannot keep up with these shenanigans that are coming out. When I asked the account, no, I don't do drugs. When I asked the account, like, hey, can I get a response? What's going on, fellow patriot? I got blocked. He wouldn't let me ask any questions. He wouldn't let me have any big questions of the night. He was like, I gotta go.
I the Spy is literally telling people the government shot him. The I the Spy should call the FBI. QAnon needs saving. Because people asked to see it, where I got hit, all patched up. Can't sit here in a hospital bed, heading back to work. F it. This will be a week to remember. I want to be there for it. Trust Q. This shit is getting ridiculous.
Get that. This is how this. God, he's lying. Sit here in the block. Do it. Go right up on his timeline and say, hey, how come the gunshot wound has no drainage? Say, hey, why are you lying to everybody, man? Why are you always lying? Do it. Be like, why are you always lying to everybody? Why you gotta lie for?
Okay, that was kind of funny.
His wife bit his nipple off. Oh my god. Now and say I was fucking, you know, the CIA and people would believe it at this point. I mean, it's gotten to the point of this stupid, like, you can just make up fake shit, run around the internet. Oh my god, that's the funniest shit. Why is he using kitty cat emojis? Because he's on an iPhone. He's a secret agent with an iPhone. He's on a kitty. Get my kitty emojis out. Not many men saying it, but for a few, turn my kitty. God, oh. Burn my religion.
You got to admit, that's pretty ridiculous, right? Pretty ridiculous that I, the Spy, who is QAnon on Twitter, tells everybody he got shot, went to the hospital, and left, and this is supposed to be the picture. This is some generic. All you got to do is reverse image search this picture, and you'll find out what it is. Oh, man. Yay, people retweeted my stuff. Did it. This person has confused the UNIRock fam. I've only been following Craig Sawyer. Oh. I've changed my position on Sawyer slightly. I think he's a vet and a good guy that was targeted by some internet individuals. How did I spell targeted position? Oh, I might type too fast. I think Lewis is making Sawyer look bad, and Sawyer should make a statement, clear it all up. Lewis called a full-grown human skull kids, and Lewis did this with skull to drum up more support, try to control his narrative, because he's getting donation off of certain people that think he's finding and helping kids. Lewis, I mean, not so. When really, Lewis is just misrepping what he finds. There you go. I haven't been responding much on Twitter because I haven't had time to check my Twitter. I've been live streaming a lot, so that's what it is. I'm getting out of here for a little bit, guys. Thanks for watching and hanging with me. Please go to my main channel and click like on my newest video and share it and watch it and stuff. It would really help me out, and I'm not even kidding. I'll be back, I don't know, maybe tonight, probably in the morning though, but either way, we got a lot to do. We're going to keep up with all this. We're going to make sure, you know, we're going to find things to do. You know what? Everyone's bitching about me because I can't lift a finger to help veterans. Doesn't matter that I go to the VA once a month and actually see fellow veterans and actually sit down and talk with the homeless. I won't call them homeless because they're living at the VA. I actually go out and sit and talk with the old war veterans, the World War II, the Vietnam, the other veterans that are there that have been injured, that have lost their minds, that are facing bad problems, that their families have abandoned them. I go sit down, and after I go to the pharmacy to renew my medications and do all the stuff I have to do after seeing my doctor once a month, I go sit down with the veterans and spend time with them and do things like that and have conversations with them and sit around and talk to them and actually do something that's legit helping people, as opposed to these big operations out in the desert where they are lying to people about what they're finding, calling adults kids just so they can drum up more support and more donations. So all the haters out there that want to talk shit, they probably didn't even bother to pop in my live stream and even ask me what I do or how I, you know, and what do you mean I'm not doing anything? I think that if I wouldn't have went so hard at this Lewis guy, there would be a lot more people buying into this bullshit. So I think I've liberated the minds of many people by showing them the real evidence instead of letting people just go on blindly soaking in some criminal-ass dude's, you know, explanation for adult skulls that he kicks around in the damn desert. How can these people even defend this guy after all this? He's got more felonies than most guys do that are in prison right now. No joke. He's got, he finds evidence and destroys it on video. He finds skulls and kicks them around on video, and then moves them around so he can get better pictures, not for the police, for Facebook, and somehow I'm not doing as much as that guy to help people. I do more with my YouTube stuff to help people than Lewis has done. I do more in a single day than he's done in the entire time he's been out in the desert doing that shit. And not even including my YouTube stuff, I do real world things to help people. And I don't have to brag about it and, you know, tweet it out to the world and play Twitter social justice warrior like all those guys do to make myself feel good. I feel good enough being their friends, being a fellow comrade, being a fellow veteran with them, sitting down and talking to them. I just, what day was it that I went out? Last Wednesday or this Wednesday? The last time I went to the VA, I went and sat on the picnic table right at the time when all the guys who are up on the medical floor that never get any human interaction have to stay in their rooms. They get to go outside once every like so often. Went and sat down with all of them and talked to them and hung out with them. Some of them can't even communicate, and I still tried. And I shouldn't have to say this, but a bunch of people on Twitter, UNIRock doesn't lift a finger to help anybody. What do I got to do? Actually live stream next time I do it? Because I will, if that's actually like something people want to see. If you want to meet the veterans that are out there, get to know them, talk to them, I'm glad to do that. I'm not even kidding. They even have a good internet connection out there. I wouldn't even have to worry about mobile internet. You know what I'm saying? All they have to do is scroll down on my Twitter, though, to see that, because when I go to the VA, I go around and take pictures of the plaques on the wall where they've honored people that died in the line of duty and sacrificed themselves to save other soldiers at war. I go take pictures of those plaques and tweet them out when I go to the VA to try to give someone who died a long time ago in some war, who sacrificed his life so that other veterans could live by jumping on grenades or running out into a hail of bullet fire to go pull a guy back in and getting killed in the process. I go and take pictures of those and tweet them out, and you can find them on my Twitter. So, you know, whatever. We've got a plague of fake-ass patriots that think that watching QAnon videos and going to the Patriots soapbox and fucking sitting there staring at those fools donating every 3 days is being patriotic. This thing, QAnon, and this new movement, and even Lewis, are all part of this big distraction technique to keep everybody lulled to sleep with fake-ass shit on the internet. So it discredits them, it makes people not listen to them, and it continues to keep this big perpetuated thing where as long as you're watching QAnon videos and as long as you're pretending to be a social justice warrior on Twitter, you can sleep at night, right? The campaign is working, my friends, because guess what? They really do feel that way. I'll be back. Very true, Nicholas. Very true, bro. DeFango said in his last night video that Uni could be on mushrooms when he streams. Okay, hold up. I gotta do something. I gotta do something that I wasn't gonna do until I talked to DeFango, but I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Not waiting. He just drew the line in the sand. Accusing me of doing drugs. Really? See ya, DeFang, bro. It was fun. Let me make sure. Oh, okay, that's off the main channel. Now I gotta log into the... Because I had him on both my sidebars. I continually share all of his videos on all my social networks. You heard him say this, right, Roosevelt? Like you were there when he said it? Like you heard him? How in the hell would I be tripping out on mushrooms? Wouldn't you guys notice, for God's sakes? Do you think I'd be able to hold this together? Have I ever showed you what it looks like when I stream? I hope it was a joke. Oh, you heard him? Okay, good. No, DeFango's been saying a lot of shit that people are taking as real. Listen, I know DeFango could have been joking. He's been talking every stream all this shit about me to the point where other people are going to YouTube and doing live streams and talk. Look, go search UNIRock right now and see if I'm not being real about this. Look. This is the... Look, whether DeFango is joking or being real, this is the damage he's doing. It's not any damage because it's good publicity in the end. Because people will see these claims and then they will, you know, they'll jump over and see me, watch my show, watch DeFango's show, all that, to see if this is true or not. They'll be like, who's UNIRock when they see this? And then they'll go hear my show, watch my show, end up subscribing, so it's good. But this is what ends up happening. So all these trolls, DeFango does a death roll, bitch slap on UNIRock for stealing his glory. DeFango calls out UNIRock for stealing his... This is all in the last day, mind you. One day. So let's go to the last week, I suppose. And I don't know if he's purposely giving these other channels ammunition or not, but he is. UNIRock's gambit was how he told all these people that I took a big roll of the dice by calling out Lewis. I didn't call him out because of evidence I had. No, I just rolled the dice with it. And I'm lucky it turned out. I'm just lucky. UNIRock is just lucky that it turned out that Lewis was a bad guy, or else I would have looked really bad. Couldn't have been that I had good evidence on Lewis being the bad guy, right? Here we go again. Shout out, one up on UNIRock. Denise Matow gets trolled by the networks for exposing Jerome Corsi and UNIRock. Defango, paid troll, and YouTube stalker visit CMEX to propagate more cicada for profit. Oh, I thought it had UNIRock in it. For some reason, this guy, altright.com, has my tag inside of his damn videos. There's me on Titus's channel. I'm sitting there on Titus's channel for an hour and a half talking to him, and then all this shit happens. Indictments and climbing. Can't deny this. Gotta put can't deny this in the title to make sure people think that they can't deny this. Anyway, just go through and, you know, take a look at all the shit that gets thrown out because people are talking this smack. Oh, yeah, Uni's probably on mushrooms. I know it seems like it's a harmless joke, but he's made, over 3 weeks, he's made so many jokes, so many ill statements, he did an entire stream where he shit on me, and now other channels are starting to, like, build up. And by the way, I don't mind, trust me. I'm not kidding. My numbers are going up because people from there who bump into these videos through natural search propagation end up being like, UNIRock? What? Typing it in and then seeing my channels, watching one of my videos, and they end up subbing. But the truth is, I don't like all this, you know, trolling, all this crap, you know. I don't want it happening. It's just diversion. It's a diversionary technique from people. And even if it does have good outcome, I don't like evil things, bad things being done, even if they have some good outcome to them. That's why I don't like QAnon. So many people say, yeah, it was a big deception, and it was just a bunch of 8chan trolls, but it woke people up, didn't it? Do you think any of those Q guys are woke? They're only Q woke. All they care about is something that says Q. Anything else they don't care about. So they're not being woke, they're being propagated. They're being pushed on a narrative, and I just don't want to participate with it. You know what I mean? I don't know about anything else. Well, maybe he's see, this is the thing with Defango, and I'll put him back on my sidebar once I talk to him. But until I talk to him, I'm taking a standoff. Because listen, this is what I constantly see. Constantly have people send me timestamps videos where I hear people talk shit, and then I constantly have people say, no, he wasn't talking shit. He was talking nice about you in this timestamped video. The truth of the matter is, whichever's happening, they are still talking shit because I've got the timestamped videos to prove it. But so who knows? Maybe they're doing this to drum up drama to get more views between the whole group of us. Maybe if they act like there's something going on between all of us, it'll get more people to want to watch all of us. I don't know what the hell's going on, dude, because they don't... I'm telling you the one thing I do know. Here's the one thing I know for a fact. I stream my ass off, and I produce videos like crazy. All day, every day, I'm either recording videos or streaming. Record videos for 8 hours a day, stream videos for 12 hours a day. Whichever ends up coming out to be in some form. Okay? I don't, you know, they don't call me and sit down and say, oh, we've got this great idea. We're going to create this drama between us to get more views and all this. They don't include me in these talks. But I'm going to tell you this. If they really did like me and consider me like a friend of theirs, would they talk shit about me on their channels? Honestly. I mean, and how do I hear them talking all this shit and take it any other way? Like, it's really crazy to think about. I don't try to waste my time with it, you know? Yeah, and I don't want to be the character in the digital truth world. You see what I'm saying? I just want to be UNIRock. Like, if people want to do this thing where they create drama between channels because it helps them grow, I don't want to grow like that. The only kind of subscribers you get from that are the drama subscribers. You don't get you guys, the critically thinking, open-minded, real people. I need to have the critically thinking, open-minded, real people here. All the drama people can go find a different truth channel to subscribe to. It seriously will not hurt my feelings. If the number down here, I don't have them up because I was recording earlier, but if these numbers just start shooting down 500 because all these people leave my channel because, you know, because they're closed-minded and I'm not allowed to have an opinion without them unsubscribing, and I have to say exactly what they want to hear if they're going to be subscribed to me, then I want them to leave. They can just go. You know what I'm saying? They can just get out of here, right? So, you know, when people sense honesty, they are threatened and will try to discredit you. That's true. I don't have enough middle fingers for people like Pampers and Defango. I still like Defango. I mean, I liked Defango because of his personality. I liked him when talking to him here. Like, I don't participate in the, you know, drama sense of everything. I truly don't. I just try to make sense of everything. So I'm even trying to make sense of the drama side of things to some extent. I typically don't put a lot of focus on it. Thanks, Ghost. I've taken shrooms before. I've described the experience on my other channel, okay? And I'm going to tell you right now, I wouldn't even know what buttons to push if I took shrooms and tried to do this. I know he was joking, but still. He doesn't realize that all of his little fucking... Like, I was in Defango's chat yesterday when he was driving down. So here's how bad it is. I was in Defango's chat yesterday when he was driving down there to go to the... whatever, that thing he was going to. And I said, dude, please ask him why he has a veterans on patrol when he's not a veteran. And someone said, holy shit, he's not a veteran. I'm like, yeah, bro, it's crazy. It's like, damn, dude, I'm going to look that up. I'm like, yeah, bro, there's like 5 sources. They're in my Discord if you want them. So one of his friends comes on and says, get the fuck out of here, UNIRock 2. You're the most biased person I've ever seen, and blah, 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 talking all this shit. And then all these other people jump in talking shit. And you gotta, and are they talking shit because on Defango's channel, when he's literally sitting there also saying how this guy's a fraud and all this, and he's going to go investigate, someone needs to go get the truth out of him. Is it a coincidence that his viewers are saying all of this? No, they're saying it because they're caught up in the YouTube drama going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think mushrooms are legal anywhere. I think they're Schedule 2. They make you feel really good, but they make you trip. Like, you can't tell what's what. What's up or down, left or right, man. And I only had, like, a couple of them. And that was, like, when I was a teenager. You know, if I tried to take any psychoactive substance now, I would probably break down and wind up in the psych ward. On top of the fact that I would have medicine, drug interactions if I did. I can't. I have a stomach problem that's very bad if I take anything that's hard on my stomach. Okay, so if I was to start taking some pill regularly, I would literally bleed out in my stomach. And this was caused by when I was in the military and I got injured, I had to take a shit ton of medications. And something between the 45 vaccines I had in 2 days to go to Iraq, and in between all these anti-inflammatory medicines, painkillers, and all these other medicines they were giving me, and all these shots into my hip joint every month, and all these shots into my hand every month for the inflammation. And then after they took all the tissue out of my arm and my muscles out, I had to have shots into it and medication for it, and I started getting ulcers that bled in my stomach. And literally, I can barely take Motrin. Motrin is the most I can take, and I can barely take it. I'm not even supposed to take Motrin. I have to, though, sometimes, because, like, I just get in too much pain. I can't do it. Just fucked up. I'm not going to say I haven't tried the catnip thing either, Liz. I'm not going to talk about it, though. Whoa! No way, Mr. Sircandy. Yeah, I would, too. Reverend, yeah. My brain is not able to handle it. Like, after the near-death experience I had and after everything that's happened to me, I wouldn't be able to handle that kind of shit. Like, I'm dead serious. I would lose my shit, man. Straight up lose my shit. You know what? I was just thinking, I just got GTA 5. I want to play a couple races before I go to bed. So, guys, I'm going to go. I need to fix my stream. My camera just fudged up. There we go. Okay, I'm going to get offline so that I give this video a few seconds to process, and then I'm going to come online and play a couple games before I go to bed, okay? You guys want to hang out while I'm playing games? Oh, thanks. Hey, Rainer, bro. What do you guys think of all the work I've been doing lately, Rainer, you know? What's the missus think? I know it's some crazy stuff, right? I just want to say that I have been vindicated on every front. I did measurements of the skull after telling you I thought it was an adult skull. I did measurements of it and told you it's an adult skull, and then found an article where the medical examiner released that it was an adult's skull. A male skull, I believe. Adult male. They tried to say that it was a female child. That's what that Facebook group told everybody. Misinformation, people. The truth always shines through. I didn't tell you it was an adult male skull to be mean to Lewis. I said it because it was the size of an adult male skull, and there were formations in the skull that proved it was not a kid or a teenager. When you study books and go to college twice, and when you spend all of your time learning how to operate sophisticated computers, program them, repair them for companies, and you do that for a living, your brain gets kind of sharp. You see, you retain information. When you don't do drugs, you retain information. Not putting down anyone that does them. I know for medical reasons people have to do them, and I think people that do drugs don't have any issues compared to people that abuse them. When you abuse them, that's when it does the mental damage. Okay, so not putting anyone down. Saying that, when you keep your mind clear and spend many years trying to sharpen your mind through constantly reading, learning, doing creative processes like writing music, videos, and doing art, then yes, you can make a good assumption when you see a skull by pulling up other examples of skulls and remembering what you learned in school, that, you know, certain parts of a skull form at different ages in a person's life. Then you can figure out what it is, what parts of that skull form, look at it, do a little size comparison based on what else is in the picture according to the other developed parts of the skull, and actually be able to tell that it is a human male. The fact that Lewis is willing to lie to you again, to put a lie out there to fit his narrative that he's a superhero veteran, and he's not a veteran, I proved it, never was in the military. I think by now people can start opening their eyes and saying, UNIRock, I am sorry for assuming that you're picking on Lewis, and I'm finally ready to admit that, yes, you were, there is evidence, you were showing evidence, and you haven't been unfair to this prick. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if he would have did anything right, I'd be the first one to tell you. I've actually told him parts of his movement that I think are right. If I was against the dude, I wouldn't come out and say that. I'll be back. I told him, Busy. I told Joe to stop flying his UFO too close to the skyscrapers. He's not listening, Busy. I didn't give him the keys. That's his. That's his UFO. That's not mine. I told him, Biz. Well, what do you want me to do, bro? I am not going to get in my UFO and try to shoot Joe's UFO down out of the sky, Busy. I like Joe. He just came in and had an excellent interview with us. Why would I try to engage his UFO with mine and then shoot it out of the sky? That just seems rude. All right, Busy. I've had enough of you picking on my guests. I'm not doing it, and you're not getting your way this time, so deal with it. for it. Here it comes. You must. As always, you can follow me on Twitter at @UNIRockTV. You can make a donation on PayPal at paypal.me/UNIRock. You can help me for free by following me on Twitch over at UNIRockTV on Twitch. And if you're really nice and have Amazon Prime, you can connect Twitch Prime to your Twitch and sub to me for free. Or just pay to sub to me, whatever you want to do. It really helps out. I'm not kidding. Twitch is so cool. They really do like me. Thank you guys for being here, supporting me, supporting logic over the insanity that's brought to you daily on the internet by channels that just can't admit the fucking truth, peeps. I'll be back. But remember, they can beg me to be biased. They can plead with me to spit lies at you, but I will keep flipping them off and spitting the truth until the day I fucking drop dead. I'll be right back.